Okay, nako, magandang gabi ho sa inyo lahat. Welcome sa ating program. Si Sunny Laragan na ito. Live ho rito sa ating araw na kung tawagin natin ay Happy Thursday. Ayan, Happy Thursday. Ayan, may bago kasi tayong, alam nyo, yung kasama ko hong nag-invento yata rito. Happy Thursday, sabi niya, no? So, Happy Thursday to everyone. And isang araw na lang. Well, actually, in a way, parang weekend na rin, no? Bukas, Friday na eh. At kumusta ho kayo? Are you safe? Hands, face, and space, no? We have to observe those things dahil 20,000 mahigit yata ang cases na, I don't know kung today or yesterday, basta merong report kanina, I was watching the news, over 20,000. I'm not sure if it was yesterday or today, but on a daily basis ho yan. Ganun ang cases na mga reported ng COVID-19, no? And siguro magkakaroon tayo ng topic do sa night jam, you know, something about vaccines, no? Kung sakasakaling meron na, would you ever be one? Magmamadali ba kayo? Gusto ba ninyong kayo na ang mauna, no? Parang sa ganun eh, you can probably feeling that somehow it would be the cure to everything. Yung ating, not really, ano, pero syempre that's new, no? Bagong-bago pa. Hindi pa siguro fully tested, but somehow it gives you, if it's really effective, it gives you more or less a shield, no? So to speak, no? And that gives you some confidence going out. Hindi ka mukha ng kapag ano kayo, wala kayo niyan, no? Wala kayong pampa ano ba tawag yan? Yung panlaban, eh siyempre nakakatakot, madali kayong kapitan. We hear of a lot of people na malalakas na tao, mga macho, ha? Talagang ano, talagang hirap na hirap. And merong cases na tapos na, teka muna, kailangan makakwento natin si attorney. Nag-iisa ako nagkukwento para oh, ano to, immigration corner ho to. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about ito. Pag-uusapan ho natin tonight, no? Ito ang topic natin, spouse financial conditions, no? Ano ba mga common problems? Yan, yung pagkuha nyo na sa spouse ninyo. So, syempre, pakilala natin yung pinakamamahal nating abogada. Walang iba kundi si Attorney Lira Simon-CABATBAT. Attorney, magandang gabi sa iyo.
Oh, hello. Happy Thursday.
Yes, happy Thursday. Oo, oo nga. Sila, binabanggit ko, attorney, yung ano, no, yung some people who are really strong, macho.
Mm,
Talagang, di ba? And yet, tinamaan. I mean, namatay tayong kababayan a couple of days ago, or 3 days ago. Kawawa naman,
mm,
no?
mm.
Lalaki, no? At I forgot his name, no? Pero, yun. And then we have this friend of mine who, si Cesar Mayet Velasco. Cesar Velasco,
Mhm.
sorry, Mayet Velasco. Ano yan, martial artist, has a big body and lahat. Pero he nearly died, attorney, no? Nandiyan sa may south of, ano ba, Kent yata siya or Sussex, hindi ko matanda kung nasaan siya. At
Yeah.
makikita mo talaga, binutasan yung kanyang leeg para lang makahinga. So,
Oh,
yan, yung mga ganyan yata, they have to open something there para sa breathing mo. Kasi ano yan, di ba? Yung respiratory. At saka, di ba, para i-ano ka, di ba, kung nagkwento nga ni Boris, yung nakadapa ba din, di ba? Yun ang one of the techniques yata, di ba? To help you
mhm,
with the breathing. This is no joke, ha? Yung mga,
mhm.
well, some people might think it's a conspiracy theory. Pero, what do you think?
No, no, absolutely. It's no joke nga, no? Dahil uh, and it can get you kahit nga if the fittest person, no? We hear about it
Mm-hmm.
all the time. Wala nga silang sakit, and not old, no underlying
Mm-hmm.
problems, and they're still affected in of course fatally in some cases nga. So yeah, no, no, definitely not a joke. And yeah, it gets quite annoying when people say no conspiracy, hindi naman to tama. When you just need to look around, people are dying. No, you have to. I think kailangan
Yeah.
nating dagdag.
Oh.
It's safe Thursday, hopefully.
Oh, yes. Oh, they're happy because they're watching us. But please make sure that if you're watching us, you are wearing your mask. No? Pwede ba yun? Attorney tayo, dapat may 2 meter distance tayo. Itong distance yata natin, 2 inches lang yata yung sa TV natin na yan, no? Ito.
Yeah,
Ayan, 2 inches
yeah,
lang yan eh. 2 inches yan. Yeah.
yeah.
Oo, oo. Dapat nakaano tayo, meron tayong social distancing talaga, no? Oy, self-isolation. The government is giving some money if you're going to be affected by, di ba, by displaced or affected by this self-isolation, no? If you have to
Yeah.
self-isolate. Napakahirap ng buhay natin, no? We've never ever imagined this would happen to us, no? no? Hindi mo
definitely.
na,
Uh,
'di ba?
yeah.
Kakaiba,
At
it's
saka,
a real, it's a different world.
yeah, and I think that, especially tayo matatanda na, no, it's difficult to
Hmm.
get
Kaya
our head around.
tayong matatanda,
Oh,
talaga yung special, tayong matatanda na. Yes, ma'am. Sama-sama tayo. Okay, go ahead. Get
yeah,
around it. Get our head around it. Okay.
it's terrible. Pero yung mga bata, sanay na sila. It's actually not unusual now. I don't think that, sanay sila. They have a mask, they automatically grab a mask when they go on the tube. They keep it on. And when you see them on the bus, and now, increasingly, mga bata, kahit lumalakad nga sila, nasa labas, they even have the masks on. Whereas tayo nga, it takes a bit of getting used to. A bit like you, if I mean, I'm so old now. Remember, nung wala pang, it was not mandatory to wear seat belts. Tatandaan mo ba? Dito.
Saan yan? Dito?
Um,
Sa UK?
oh, yeah,
Hindi ko pa
years and
inabot
years
yun,
ago.
attorney. Oo, hindi ko pa yata inabot. Inabot ko na yun, mandatory na. Oo, talagang kailangan naka-seatbelt, di ba?
Yeah, so it
Mm.
was uh, well, years ago now. No, it was not mandatory to wear seatbelts. No, tapos they made it mandatory to wear seatbelts, and then, of course, yung mga bata, lumaki sila, yeah, automatically, you get into a car, you put on your seatbelt. No,
Mm.
um,
Mm.
but ako nga, I still have to remind myself, you have to put your seatbelt on. So it takes a bit to
Mm.
getting used. So it's yeah, no, it's a different world. No, so talaga, it's
Are you,
uh,
okay. Well, if you were a student, okay, ngayon na tayo. Let's just say you were born around this time. Uh, And let's just say you were reincarnated. Let's just say the lang, reincarnated. Kunwari, although, I'm sure, it's something that's disputable or something. Pero ganito lang. Let's just say you grew up, you were going to school, gigising ka na maaga, papasok ka, ganyan. O, liligo ka, syempre, sometimes, no? Ganyan, kailangan maligo ka. At tapos ngayon, ang mga bata na learning from online lang ang classes eh.
yeah.
Alam mo na yun dati because would you like this kind of a setup for you? Eventually
Oh,
graduating. For example, this carried on for years, but and you were able to graduate, say, I don't know, I hindi ko kabisado the educational system. Let's just say it's ating 4 years of high school. You were able to graduate high school online, with a teacher and all.
mm.
Would you like it this way? Enjoy ka ba? Parang hindi ka na gigising sa umaga, mamamasahe o ka-travel? What do you think? Ikaw, if you were, how would you compare? Would you, parang masaya ngayon, parang ganun. They just wake up and then they go in front of the computer and they have a class.
Yeah. No, I don't. I think ako personally, I wouldn't like it. No, dahil nga, so I mean,
Mm-hmm.
school, it's beyond the academics. No, I think, school is starting from the very beginning at university. A big part of it is also in socialization. No, you learn from your peers. And it can be behavior, it can be how you make friends, how to keep friends, difficulties even, resilience nga, kung may problema, how do you get over that? How do you make sure nga that that doesn't happen again? Or indeed, kung, how do you deal with quite difficult situations na with other people? Pero kung mag-isa ka nga lang, nasa harap mo nga lang yung you're studying online all the time. I suppose you would get used to it, but I think the students would be the poorer for it because they then lose out nga the I think the important social contact which is also provided by schooling, no? And I think it's just as important to be a well-rounded person na meron kang mga kaibigan, lagi mo sila nakikita, okay, minsan-minsan, you have arguments, which is not uncommon, of course, o kaya, you chat about things like boyfriend, girlfriend, mga ganon, that would be lost, and that would be such a pity, no? Um, uh, so, I don't think ko ako, I would enjoy it. But of course, yeah, yun nga, the
Hindi,
convenience. Hindi mo
kasi
kaya,
alam mo na ngayon, di ba? Oo. Kasi
yeah,
alam mo, you
yeah,
lived through two different generations, halimbawa, or, di ba? The time that
yeah,
when you were going to school, enjoying yung mga girly chika-chika, ganyan, di ba? Yung mga,
yeah,
di ba? And yung reality ngayon na andyan ka na ngayon, di ba?
yeah, yun nga.
But
And
ikaw
also,
ba, when you were,
yeah,
when you were growing
what
up,
Ano?
Oh, sige, go.
Ano?
Sorry. Nagkakasabay tayo.
Kung
Oo.
wala, di mo, kung ganito nga, di hindi mo kailangan
Mm.
maligo, no? Because no one is, no
Hindi na,
one is
oo.
tell you.
Mamaya ka lang maligo pagka gusto mo, no? Hindi ka na kailangan obligadong, you have to wake up very, very early, di ba? Medyo yung traveling time mo, pwedeng pang itulog pa, di ba?
Yeah,
So, it's a
yeah.
strange world, no? It's a strange way of living nowadays, no? Kaya, a lot of people have benefited from it in a way because a new thing called online thing or whatever was
Mm-mm.
created for some people. The other people naman, dahil hindi naman sila ganun sa, probably their lives or livelihoods or businesses are not based on the internet. So, nahihirapan. So, ano iba-iba no? Anyway, ay, teka muna, meron tayong may winner yata bago tayo before we launch into our topic for tonight. Siyempre, we have to acknowledge our winner. One of our winners, si Franz Pinedo pala. Sabi niya, in fact, she was just, nauna lang siya, pero I don't know kung kumontak siya, pero nabakabasa ako na thread na hindi ho, okay lang ako, Sir Sunny, walang, hindi naman ako, I'm just happy lang ako nanonood. So, parang, she works yata in sa housing something that they manage or something yata. Si Franz Pinedo. And today, ano ba yung, how do you call that? Unang bumate?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is this is the guy who made bati to us today, no? His name is, hindi ko mabasa yan eh. Parang,
So,
African ba yan?
let me,
Marinel o Hayami, ano yan? Si ano? How do
uh,
you read that,
OJ,
Tony?
Ojeyami,
Ang first name siguro
Ojeyami,
niya, Marinel, no? Marinel siguro ang kanyang no? Marinel,
yeah,
tapos
West
how do you spell the same? O, baka kasi magalit sa atin eh. Ojayamhie.
yeah,
Ayan.
yeah,
O, tingnan natin kung tama to,
wow,
no? Baka sakali lang. Ganda ng pangalan mo, ha?
Ojeyami,
Ikaw, pinahirapan mo kami, ha? Ayan.
yeah,
Unang bumate.
okay,
Congratulations. Nanalo ka ng dalawang Doritos mula kay attorney. Ayan,
oh,
si Marinel
yeah,
Oyayamhi. Tama.
yeah,
Marinel, tama ba yan?
yeah,
Baka mamaya, mali yung pag ano namin, minorder namin ang pangalan mo, magaling sa amin, baka hindi ka naman manood. Sabihin niya siguro, grabe, gagalit ako. Mali ang pagbasa. But o Jayamhi. She lives in W10, London. Ayan. Ito, siya. So
Marinel,
congratulations ha.
yeah.
Marinello,
Ad
itong ano niya. Yes, attorney.
yung address niya,
Ay,
yeah, address mo at saka flavor, please.
flavor lang. Address yeah, address isulat mo dito. Yan, dito. Ayan, sa kabatbat at douglas-simon.com, no? Okay.
Yeah,
Ayan. Minsan baka pag minessage mo sa akin, baka hindi ko makikita dahil sometimes I don't know if you experience this, may makikita ka no? May notification or anything. Tapos, hindi mo na maalala kung saan ang galing eh. Inaano mo na kung saan
yeah,
ba nang galing yun? Sa email ba yun o sa message sa ganyan, no? So, ayan. So, congratulations sa Marinel. You've just won for yourself, ayan, teka muna, yung two Doritos. Just let us know yung flavor. Kasi maraming flavors yan. Dalawa, tatlo yata, apat. Okay. Ayan, attorney. So, eto na tayo.
yeah,
Guys, so pag-uusapan natin ngayon, meron tayong, ito na yung ating topic for tonight, no? As spouse financial conditions. Anong another way of, framing it? Financial requirements in spouse
um,
applications, no? What
yeah,
can go wrong? Ano
yeah,
pwede mangyari, no?
yeah,
Ayan.
you know,
Ayan, common
so,
problems. Pero ito na nga, no? So, another way is, Okay, attorney, sige, sige, take it away.
Okay, so yung pag-usapan natin ngayon, spouse financial conditions. So, typically, it's really, kung magpapasok yung application, sabihin natin nandun sa, nasa Pinas, yung asawa nyo, gusto mo silang kunin dito, at mga bata, say, what are the common problems that come about? O, kung nandito nga na sila, and you want to extend the visa, or indeed apply for indefinite leave to remain, o kaya yung palitan kung say, kung estudyante nga siya dito, and then she wants to swap it over, or he wants to swap it over to a spouse. So anong kailangan yung pakita? So oftentimes I find, at least 50% of the time, the main issue is yung pera, especially nowadays with people losing their jobs. Now, I thought this would be an interesting topic for today because today, well, not today, but on the 13th of October, The Home Office published this new guidance. Well, it's not terribly new, frankly, but it's updated guidance, no, for financial requirements. So what I'd like to do nga is see if we can clarify some things and yung nga din have a look at examples, the common issues. And again, as usual, kung meron kayong problema or you don't quite catch what I'm on about nga, and you want more details, then just email me, and then I'm happy to clarify it. So, starting really from the top. So, who would need to comply to financial conditions or financial requirements? No. So basically, we're dealing with partners. Okay, partners they would include spouses, fiance, unmarried spouse. No, with or without children nga. So una tingnan natin ano mga limits. Now, partner with no children, okay, that say coming in from the Philippines into the UK to join their sponsor nga here, who is British or settled status, ang limit 18,600. Okay, that is before tax. Yeah. So if you are so when you're calculating it, look at the gross amount, the pre-tax amount. Yeah. Now, with one child, that goes up by 3,800, and so it becomes then 22,400 pounds with one child. Two children, it doesn't go up for as much, but it does go up. So one partner, two children, it goes up to 24,800 pounds. Now, one partner and then three children, it goes up to 27,200 pounds. So it's actually quite a lot of money, no? Now, the most common problem that I encounter is hindi sapat yung pera. So sabihin natin ang income mo, so no children, you have your partner nga, gusto mo siyang kunin dito, income mo 15,000, okay? So kulang ka by 3,600 because obviously the limit is 18,600. So what do you do? Ano pa do you just give up or do you look at other things? And of course, you do the latter. That is, you look at other things. Meron pa ba kayong pwedeng idagdag? So one possibility would be, or the most obvious possibility would be savings. So meron ba kayong, meron ba kayong bank account na may pera doon? Now, the only thing is that's actually what you require as savings is not little by no means. So looking at the 15,000, sabihin natin income mo 15,000. So kulang ka ng 3,600. There's a formula that you can apply. Yeah. So the formula is, so to work out the minimum savings required, you multiply the shortfall, so yung kulang nga, by 2.5. Okay? And then you add the income received. So, kung 15,000, let's look at that, yeah? The shortfall is 3,600. You multiply that by 2.5, that then gives you a total of 9,000, okay? And then add to that the 15,000 that you earn as an annual income, okay? Now, that means yung sponsor would need to show a total savings of 24,000 pounds. Now, so I've certainly come across cases na yung kliyente ko, mababa nga lang sweldo, but managed to accumulate quite a lot of savings. So, if your income is 15,000, but you have savings of no less than 24,000 pounds, then that may in fact be enough. But again, be careful with time limits, because you need to hold certain monies within a certain amount of time. So kung marami ka you have savings in various accounts, then you need to have a look, how long have you had those savings for? So first thing to look at, kung hindi sapat ang pera mo, meron ka bang savings, sapat ba yung savings? Now, another possible thing, so sabihin natin wala or you have no savings, o hindi nga sapat. What you can also look at is a combination of various income, So sabihin natin you maybe have a pension, and then on top of that you are also working. You can add pension. So what income you can combine is quite can be quite complex, because they classified into 7 categories, categories A through to G. So I won't bore you with all those categories now. But with some income, you can combine them, but with some, you can't combine them. So, for example, rental income on a property, you can combine that now with your employed income. And as I've said, if you have pension, then you can also combine that with your employed income. You can also combine self-employment. So, kung meron kang income full-time, tapos meron ka pang part-time and you're paying self-employment, so you're paying tax yourself, so you're self-employed for your second job, then you can combine it, but again be careful because there are quite strict financial date requirements, so that they talk about the financial year. So hindi nga sapat na okay itong income mo ngayon and then you're getting 100 pounds say sabihin natin on a weekly basis sa part-time mo. Hindi nga yung basta-basta. You need to be able to prove it for one thing, and also hindi nga lang prove it, but you need to also ensure that yung financial documents mo, yung tax document mo, it matches what you're submitting from your full-time permanent employment, where you are employed rather than self-employed. So you can combine, but just be careful. Some can't be combined. Some you can combine, but with you have to be careful with the financial documents, the tax documents na papakita nyo. Now, in some cases also, that you may be on benefits, no? Now, there are some benefits that would still satisfy the maintenance requirement because they're deemed to be adequate maintenance. Okay, so there are essentially 9. So ililista ko nga yun. So CARES allowance ang una. There's this disability living allowance. There's severe disablement allowance. There's industrial injuries disablement benefit. There's attendance allowance. There's something called PIP, so personal independence payment, armed forces independence payment, constant attendance allowance, police injury pension, for example. So those things, if you're getting any of those, either for yourself or for a child that you're looking after, then that would be considered adequate maintenance for the financial requirements. Now, but outside those, most income from benefits would not count. So, for example, they will not count child benefit, towards the income. They will not count working tax credit, universal credit. I think it's still called universal credit. So those things, housing benefit, they won't count towards the income. So there are only very limited benefits that would count. Now, what happens if all that fails? So, hindi nga sapat ang pera, wala kang savings, you're not on any of the benefits that are allowed. What then can you do? Now, as a general rule, they will not take into account financial support from a third party. So, I come across many occasions nga na yung kliyente ko, yung asawa nandito, living with parents, and does not earn enough, but does not pay rent, for example, or even food because he's living now with parents, but want to bring the wife into the United Kingdom. Now, in that case, you can still try and argue that although it's a third-party support and generally not allowed, you can say that if you don't, that your circumstances are what they call exceptional, So, for example, it would be things like if you have children, or a child together. So, let's say na yung bata nga either sabihin natin nasa Pinas, gusto mo nga lang silang kunin, but your income is just nowhere near 18,600. So you can certainly say, look, to insist that it should be 18,600 despite the fact that you're not paying any rent, dahil nakatira ka sa nanay o tatay mo, or you're not paying any food, for example, which means that your disposable income is much more than normal nga, that it would be to not grant your family then a visa to come into the UK would be in breach of your right to family, for example, no? So that there are exceptional circumstances that are enforced, and therefore they should grant them a visa. So don't just give up, is what I'm saying. No. Now, a temporary concession also is the coronavirus concession. No. And there, actually, I printed it earlier on. It's not a very long thing. So sabi nga dito, I'll just read it out a little bit. So a temporary loss of employment between employment income between the 1st of March and the 1st of January, so 1st of March 2020 and the 1st of January 2021 due to COVID, yeah, will be disregarded provided the minimum income requirement was met for at least 6 months immediately prior to the date the income was lost. No? This is for a loss of employment income between the 1st of March 2020 until the 1st of January 2021 due to COVID. So, if you were quite, if you would otherwise satisfy it, na wala nga lang trabaho, then don't just give up, especially because they introduced, as I've said, this special concession to do with COVID, no? But there's a timeline. So temporary loss of employment between the 1st of March to the 2020 until the 1st of January 2021. That also includes those who have been furloughed. So it could also be that they didn't lose the job, yung nga lang, of course, bumaba because they've not been paid, or they're not being paid the full amount. So you can also make use of that, no? So essentially, don't give up. So the moral of the story is really, kahit mababa nga ang sweldo nyo, go through the list. No, are there savings to be had? No, to be added nga? Is there can you combine yung income mo with another income? So if you have a part-time job, that would make up the 18,600. If you're on benefits, is it one of the 9 that is allowed, no, to be considered adequate maintenance? Failing all that, are there exceptional circumstances nga that should still allow a grant of visa to you and your family, kahit nga hindi sapat? And as I said, don't forget the temporary concession nga, the COVID-19 concession, which is if you lose your employment or you've been furloughed nga from the 1st of March 2020 until the 1st of January 2021, they will disregard that, and as long as you satisfy the income requirement, minimum income requirement for at least 6 months immediately prior to the date the income now was lost. So, there are, don't give up too easily, perhaps is what I'm saying. And worst comes to worst, I suppose, what you could also do is wait nga, until you have, you're likely to satisfy the income. Now, don't forget, kung nandito na yung pamilya nyo, no, yung income mo, the sponsor's income, can be added to the spouse's income as long as that person is here legally. So your combined income should be no less than 18,600, or a bit more, of course, if there are children involved. Now, it's just again be careful there. So by the same token, you can't add income that is obtained illegally. Kung wala kang visa dito, o walang visa dito yung asawa mo, yung partner mo, ibig sabihin you can't add that income to the 18,600. So yeah, but it is important. So without satisfying the financial requirement, the application will be refused. So you need to be alert to the problems.
Okay, ayan. Sige, sige, yung mga tanong-tanong lang din ako, attorney, para linawin lang natin. But we're gonna have a short break muna. Mag-break muna tayo. And when we come back, tutuloy natin yung ating usapan, no? Usapang itong Immigration Corner, no? With yours truly and si attorney Lira SIMON-CABATBAT, no? Don't go away. Saglit po lamang. Okay, tuloy-tuloy tayo sa ating program. Ayan, no? Batiin muna natin sila, attorney, bago tayong magano, no?
Hmm.
Itong ating, bago kita tanungin ng isang mga tanong na pang-inosente talaga na parang getting to know yung mga sinasabi mo. Okay, so we have first, bumati na yung ating winner, yung first, ano pa pangalan natin? Unang bumati na winner,
Ate.
Marinel, no? Congratulations, si Marinel. Saan ba si Marinel? Ayan. Si Marinel, yun, no? Marinel Oya, Oha, ano ba yan? Oya, Oya, Ohaya, Ohayam here. Ano ba,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
ano yan?
I think,
Is that
oh, yeah.
from the Middle East or from Africa or is it from, is it Asian? Sa Asian kasi baliktad dito, no? Sa atin dito. Asian yung mga Indians, Pakistanis, mga Sri Lankans, Bangladeshis, no? Okay. Si Juliet, no? Marcelino, Albiado Marcelino, sabi niya, Hi, Sunny and Attorney Lira. Good evening. Magandang gabi. Uy, good evening. Magandang gabi sa iyo, no? Ito yung ating friend na maganda ang buhok, no? Si Emeline Rafael. Good evening, Sunny
Ah,
and Attorney Lira. Yes, nice to see you both again
hap-
tonight. Happy Thursday to everyone. Uy, thank you very much, ha? Uy, ito yung winner natin na napakabait naman, no? Sabi niya, hindi naman po ako talaga, ano. Okay lang, sige. Franz Pinedo, good evening po, Attorney Lira and Sir Sunny. Happy Thursday po to everyone.
oh,
Mabuhay po. God bless. God bless din sa inyo. Ayan.
I love
Hindi
that
pa
picture.
kumukontak sa'yo si Franz, no? Ha?
You know, France did actually. I haven't sent the thing yet, pero definitely France has.
Okay.
Hindi
Okay,
naman
okay.
picture
Siguro
na.
napilitan din.
Ganda. Yeah.
Maganda, oo. Parang ano siya, parang siyang, how would you say, nagbabakasyon siya sa Nice or sa
I,
Monaco, ganyan, no? Parang ganyan ang itsura niya, no? Parang she looks
oh,
very beautiful, ha? Talagang very, ano, anong feeling yan? Summer feeling ba yan kay, ano, kay France? France Pineda.
yeah. So it's,
Si France
yeah.
kaya, paborito mong lugar ng France, kaya, kasi nabanggit ko out of the blue. Sabi ko, Monaco, Nice, these are all in the south of France, no? Yung mga Monaco na yan sinasabi ko. Ayan, si
Mm.
France Pinedo. Naku, na mabuhay ka, France, ha? You are, oh, wala, hindi ko pala siya friend, no, na ano, person, hindi ko siya friend sa Facebook na ano. Maternity nurse siya, attorney.
Oh, really?
Si,
Oh, what a,
maternity friends,
oh,
nakakatuwa naman, oh. Mabuhay ka, France, ha? France, oh, yan. Okay,
mm,
so si France Pinedo, sino pa ba yung mga bumati rito? Basahin lang natin itong mga ito, no? Oops, ano ba yan?
mm,
Marami kasi mga bumabati rito. Alvin, si Alvin ba? Taga Germany pala to, no? Si
mm, yeah,
RJ, Alvin ML. Hello po, Attorney Lira and Sir Sunny. Good evening po. Watching from Germany. Ayan.
yeah.
And of course, ito yung ating mga regular mga suki, ika nga, no? Edgardo Cagachian Enriquez, no? Good evening, Kuya Sunny, Attorney Lira. Happy Thursday to everyone. Happy Thursday, everyone, ha? Yan, kami
Hey,
rin, kami rin ni attorney, binabati namin kayo. Bayani Fish, you're not alone here. Over here to USA, it's really messed up,
wow.
sabi niya, no? Ayan, si
Yeah.
Bayani. Alam mo, ano kaya na? Avid listener natin, naging friend na rin natin eventually, no? Ever since ng radio days natin, attorney, yan nakikinig tayo sa atin mula sa Chicago. Oo,
Really?
walang ano yan, walang yeah. Oo, walang pati mother-in-law niya, yung sister, wife niya, they're all regular viewers natin. Meron pa tayong viewer na family from sila mami si Luming Hagen at saka si Ate asa ba sila? Hindi ko alam kung anong lugar sila, no? Connecticut ba or ano? Yeah, may mga ano natin mga meron pa tayong ano viewer from New Jersey, New York, no? Talagang mga
Wow.
avid fans natin, Canada, no? Yung isa nagtatago pa sa ilalim ng table niya para lang makausap tayo eh. Nakausap ako noon during that time.
Well, you
Oh,
know,
I was talking to her.
they have their they have their election soon, 3rd of November, di ba? So yeah, Bayani, it's good
Yes,
luck with.
oo, sa Amerika.
Yeah, yeah.
Oo
So,
nga, West, oo. Oh, malapit na
oh,
at medyo debate yata bukas, may debate sila bukas, no? Ayun, sabi
today.
niya, may debate, hindi, bukas yata, bukas. Sabi ni
Oh,
Bayani,
wow.
talagang kita mo, bigla instant reply, sabi niya, thanks po, sir, listening always. Mahal na mahal ko to si Bayani, eh. Ayan, si Bayani Fish, no? At nakakatuwa, through the years siguro, no? Tuloy-tuloy yan, eh, no? Andyan pa rin yan, no? So mahal na mahal kita, Bayani, we love you. Okay, ito
Yeah.
si Maris Mendez, attorney. Si Maris Mendez o Maris.
Oh,
Hi po, it's Thursday
okay.
again. Oo nga naman. Hi po, it's Thursday again. Sabi niya, no? So, nakakatuwa. Okay. And
Yeah.
then
Oh,
May Tigbao
oh, well,
Vargas. Yes, attorney.
let me
Hmm.
know when the Doritos arrive. Maris was one of our winners, Sony.
Oh yeah, paki-acknowledge Maris, no? Yung ano, yung kung natanggap mo yung Doritos natin, konting laro-laro lang natin, katuwaan lang. Parang kamukha na ginagawa namin ni Attorney Dana, nagiging legal advice corner at iba pa. Kasi she loves hiking and sometimes she
Mhm.
would talk about mga gear, mga hiking, climbing gear, no? So, ayan. So, oy, si May Tigbao Vargas. So, congratulations, Marisa. Let us know kung natanggap mo na. On the way na, no? At least, no? A little something from the program, from attorney, no? Okay, May Tigbao Vargas. Good evening, Sir Sunny, Attorney Lira, and to all watching this program, watching from Exeter, Devon. Devon, no? A happy Thursday. Yun.
Okay.
Mabuhay, no? And ito yung, naku, Diyos ko, talagang nakakatuwa itong ating program. No, pero hindi ba, mamaya-maya pa. May bigla ako nakitang from a very far away place. I
Yeah.
think they're ahead sila. Teka muna. Paris is, shall we say, ahead sa time natin? Tama, no? Tama.
Uh,
They're ahead of us. Tama, di ba? Tama,
1
tama.
hour.
Dahil America is behind us. Oh. So, itong bansa na mamaya, babasahin ko, late sila sa atin. No?
Really?
Ito si Ma'am
Oh,
Cora Carsola. Ma'am Cora Carsola, thank you for for watching. Good evening, Sir Sunny, Attorney Lira, and all. Yan yung lagi nagsasabing watching the program is educated, no? They learn something every day. Hoy, teka muna. Yung mga nanonood ho dito lalo na sa Europe, meron ho tayong Sabado Panalo. We give away $50, no? Hopefully inaayos ko pa yung mga resorts and hotels na mga staycations.
mhm.
So, yan, maganda, no? Wala na kayong gagawin, manood lang kayo, mananalo pa kayo, 'di ba? Wala nang
Yeah.
kahirap-hirap. Hindi ho yan, it's not a scam, it's a real thing. No, all we ask from you guys is share it and let more people know so that, eventually if this succeeds, it's going to be there for a long time. And who else benefits kundi tayo? All of you, because
Yeah.
we can get the money from the sponsors to give away to you guys, no? Hindi kayo sa mga family niyo back home. Lalo na ang
Yeah.
hirap ng pandemic sa Pilipinas, attorney, no? Okay,
Yeah.
Ma'am Cora Carsola, thank you very much as always. No, attorney and I are really grateful for you being there and supporting the
Sana.
program. And
Ah.
si MM Giling, nako si
Yeah.
Giling Estatwa. Oh. Naglalaro ka ba na, attorney, when you were young? Giling Estatwa, labas ngipin ay taya, di ba? Sa Manila, yung laro namin noon eh.
And
Giling-giling estatwa, mga bata. Hindi naman estatwa. Okay, mabuhay ha. Hindi namin
definitely.
makalimutan yung ni attorney. Hindi makalimutan ni attorney, ano ba yung, ano bang inaano mo niya sa'yo? Yung lumpiang, ano ba yung hindi mo makalimutan sa kanya?
Oh, no, no. I mean,
Sino?
siya kilala ko siya. We've been together for a long time now, no? At saka Miss Gilling, yes, she's one of those people nga na like actually, it's something I encounter with a lot of Filipinos. Tayo, kung may problema, we rise to the challenge, no? Kung may problema, ano
Mhm.
bang solusyon, no? And she's one of
Yes.
those na kahit malaki ang problema, kahit marami, she will just she faces it head on, no? And she
Oh,
does
that's
her
good.
best. So she's quite an impressive lady, Miss Gilling.
Pero sino yung nagdadala ng parang, hindi ko alam kung kakanin o parang
Yeah,
merienda o something na,
yeah.
sino
Si
nagdadala sa, may nabanggit ka nun eh.
yeah, Miss Knight, Mrs. Knight actually. Yeah. So ewan ko na
Okay,
nanonood
si
siya na.
Mrs. Knight.
Yeah. So yeah,
Mrs.
she
Knight, ang
the
ganda naman
best
ng pangalan, Mrs. Knight.
Mrs.
Oh,
Knight. Pero
Knigt.
yeah.
Ay, teka na,
So
nawala yung mukha ko, attorney. Yeah.
ano?
So, si Miss Knight bang pangalan? Hindi, sabi ko, nawala yung mukha ko. Si Inday Analu, ganda naman ng, ano ba yan, avatar ba yan, o how do you call it? Emoji, yan, o. Yan, okay. Alright.
Yeah.
Tapos, ano to, sabi ni Franz Pinedo, yes po, traveler girl po ako, working as a house manager to Paris, Vienna, Portugal. Aba,
Wow.
wow. Parang ginagawa
That's so
niyang Metro Manila ang no, ang Ang Paris siguro kunyari nasa Makati siya, mamaya nasa dun siya sa Quezon City, Vienna, tapos nasa
Mm,
Caloocan siya sa Portugal, no? Parang, well, yun ang ganda sa buhay sa Europe, no? Wow, nakakatuwa.
yeah.
So yan pa rin, no? Ito, sino to? Si Kate Foy? Kate Foy? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
babae ba yan? Si Kate? Babae, no?
Yeah, I would imagine so. So, hello po.
Babae si Kate.
Yeah,
Hi, Kate.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Happy
ano
Thursday.
siya, from Happy Thursday. Oh, mabuhay ka. Thank you very much. These are like new viewers that we have on the program, no? Nakakatuwa naman. Ganda naman yung spelling ng kanyang pangalan, no? Kate, ano pangalan niya? Kate Foy. Merong ano, di ba? Merong artista ba o sa Pilipinas yung parang
Yeah,
drama talent?
at,
Foy.
yeah.
Oo.
So, may
Anyway,
isa.
sabi niya, ayan, uy, sabi ni Bayani Fish, ito nga, sabi ni Bayani, tonight, siya, listening lagi siya tonight, no? Uh, ito, attorney, oh. Rogelio Landayan from Iceland, Europe, watching you. Oh, kita mo?
Wow.
Ah,
Wow.
alam mo ba, attorney? Hindi ko alam kung alam mo to. Alam mo ba na ang bansa na walang lamok? Iceland lang yata.
Really? No, hindi ko
Except yung
alam.
mga malalamig na bansa, no? Pero Iceland amongst the countries, no? Walang lamok. Tanongin nga natin, no? Kasi doon sa ating song ng Sabado Panalo, may isa kasing line
Mm.
na ginawa si yung ating composer, ang composer ng attorney, baka inabot mo pa lang nasa Pilipinas ka. I don't know if you've heard of Rick Astley, yung kumanta ng Never Gonna Give You Up, Never Gonna get, I think
Mm-hmm.
he lives here now, no? Dito na siya naka-base. Anyway, merong tayong equivalent na Rick Astley of the Philippines, and his name is Archie D, o Archie Dairocas. And he composed
Mm-hmm.
a lot of songs, marami siyang songs. And one of those songs na sikat yung kay Ma, Mahal na Mahal by si Regine Velasquez, no? At saka marami pa siya marami kumanta. Anyway, he composed our song. Now, he was trying to rhyme everything. Siyempre, rhyming yan, di ba? Sabi niya,
Mm-hmm.
imbis na magmokmok tayo, at kagatin ka ng lamok or something like that, baka ganon. So, sabi ko,
Talaga.
baka sa Europe, I had to research. Europe, ko, hindi ako nakaka-experience ng lamok dito. May lamok ba sa inyo? Diyan sa Richmond, attorney?
Yeah, yeah, of course. May lamok. Pero hindi man uso yung lamok dito, no? Siguro dahil ang lamig, no?
Dahil malamig?
So,
Oo, oo.
way. So, it's unusual, I think, that you get
Mm.
maybe in the summertime, no? Tapos, I think in the winter, namamatay sila eh.
So we had it changed. So instead na, imbis na magmukmok, buti
Mm-hmm.
pang lumahok, di ba? It's instead of you magmukmok ka, then why don't you join na lang, di ba? So ganun, you should join.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, yun ang song
yeah.
natin. Na kaya ano, oo. Ayan. Teka muna, Kate Foy, watching from Ton. Si Kate Foy is watching from how do you, Tonton? Diyan ba yan sa ano? Sa
Conference.
Devon ba yan? O sa, ano ba yung dulo, attorney? Yung dulo? Cornwall ba yan? Yung, sa ba yung Tonton? Tonton. How do you Taunton.
Hindi ko,
Where is ha?
hindi ko makita ang
Sa ba
message
Tonton?
niya. Tonton?
Taunton.
Oh,
It's Somerset. It's in Somerset, England. Ayan. Merong 59 in 2011, ang population na ano ba 59,000, 69,570. It
wow.
has,
Yeah,
sabi niya, it has over 1,000 years of religious and military history. Ayun,
yeah,
yung
no,
kanilang castle
yeah,
has origins in the Anglo-Saxon period. Ba,
yeah,
okay, yeah.
no.
All right. So ano pala siya? Somerset.
Yeah, it's
Attorney?
very important historically.
It is. Oo. Kaya taga-Tonton siya. Ayan. Ano to? Wow, really. Hindi ko maintindihan kung bakit kasi yung sagot eh. Yan. Watching from Tonton. Yan. Ayan. Watching from, sinagot ba? Ayan, nilabas na. Watching from Taunton. Yan. Okay. Anong shinare niya? Shinare mo na ba yung ano? Yung Sabado Panalo? Ano? Kate Foy? Kate? Meron tayo Sabado Panalo, no? Yan. It will be a number one fun show. Oh, parang ano. Attorney, would you
Yeah,
say when you give prizes, it's a game show? Oh, hindi. Hindi, kanya, well, hindi natin alam kung would it be a game
no,
show?
no,
Yung, for example, ha?
yeah. I suppose if you are competing, I suppose in a way it's a kind of a game show, no? But not
Parang game na
really.
rin, no? Mm.
I suppose a little bit, pero hindi naman yun ang they're not really competing in that the same sense, you know. I don't think.
Oo.
So it's
Parang they will have to comment, they will have to like, share, and comment, and then we will have to pick we will have to have a certain picker, and then yung mga comments. Siguro ako comments lang nyo where you are watching from siguro. And then yung aming marami naman sa internet yan na nakukuha. I will be number one fan now. Oh, okay. Fan of the also itong show natin dito rin. Virginia, sabi niya, okay, sabi niya Virginia, ito, alam mo, sometimes it's nice to have our viewers. They're also giving out, no, volunteering the information. Sabi ni Virgie, the country of Iceland, it's considered to be free of these pesky buzzing insect. Ayun. Sa Spain,
yeah,
may lamok, siyempre, dahil mainit eh. Pero dito,
yeah.
hindi ko pa naranasan, parang hindi ko na-feel Pati, wala pa ako nakikita rito ng butike eh. May butike ka na ba? May lizard ka ba nakita rito?
Yeah, listen, yeah, listen. No,
May lizard ka rin ba?
no, I've seen lizards nga, pero hindi man, yung galing, hindi madami. Yeah, pero
Okay.
lamok,
Ang hindi ko na, hmm,
yeah, does it
meron
affect
na,
you quite a lot? Yeah, because sometimes may mga tao, they don't really feel it o hindi sila interesado sa iyo, yung lamok, no? But
mm.
ako, I think I'm considered to be a buffet by mosquitoes, no? Pagka nakita nila ako, immediately, yeah, I have focus of their attention. I'm sure I've lost a lot of blood to mosquitoes.
Masarap ang blood mo siguro. They felt, nako, ito nga, mukhang ano ang blood nito. Medyo, sige, ano natin to. Putaktihin natin to. Ako, wasp, nakagat ka na ba na wasp? Or yung na-sting ka naman
Oh,
wasp or bee?
yeah,
Bee, di ba?
yeah, but wasp, not bee, but wasp. Oh, that hurts, you know?
Okay, okay. Oh, ako, wasp. Ang tagal mawala yung venom ba yun? Tawag doon, na nando sa katawan, sa ano mo, sakit pa rin. And I had a
Yeah.
very bad experience in Spain. I couldn't forget it na ako na, because ang dami ng wasp, I was also attacking them. By way of soap, yung mga spray, soap, tsaka bumili
Yeah.
ako ng bomba. And then nakatakip
Oh.
yung mukha ko. I will try to do it either early in the morning or yung magko-close na, yung magdadapit dilim na. Kasi medyo
Mm,
nag-ano na yan, kumbaga na bumuwi na sa bahay. So you have to
mm.
spray the holes. Pag lumabas yun, di ba, they will have to attack you eventually dahil, di ba, parang
Yeah.
defensive. Oo, kaya yun ang experience ko, wasp. Hindi ko makalimutan. Nasugatan ako, nahulog pa nga ako sa upuan eh. Dahil sa
Oh,
wasp eh. Yung,
yeah.
oo, because I
No.
was hanging this fake, yung mga fake na, di ba yung mga, yung, ano ba yung gano'n, yung mga bahay ng mga bubuyog. So I
Oh,
got some Manila paper ba, yung mga parang paper na sa tinapay o sa ano,
oh.
kinakrample ko, and then I made parang yung ano lang, para, kasi ang feeling nila, pag meron silang katabi na beehive o bee something, they avoid
Mm.
it eh. So I had to do a
Oh,
lot of them all over the place, no? Oo. In one time na nag-aayos ako, nahulog ako. Gusugatan pa
oh.
ako. Sabi ko, buisit yung mga wasp na to. Hindi ko makaliw. Hindi, because may
It's
nakakagat attorney, may namamatay din. Hindi ko alam kung galing na China yung wasp na yun, no? O Japan. Basta may wasp na galing sa ano eh, sa ating sa lugar doon eh. Pag
yeah,
naka-travel sa Europe eh, minsan namamatay yung ano pag lalo ka may allergic reaction ka, patay ka lalo.
yeah,
So ayan.
yeah. No,
So yeah, thank
yeah.
you Virgie. Thank you very much Virgie for that ano yan, sabi niya. Rudy Librojo, ito si Rudy Libro. Good evening po Sir Sunny, Attorney Lovely Lira ka pala ngayon. Lovely
Oh,
Lira. And kababayan, waiting po naman waiting pa po namin yung 3 Doritos cheese
oh,
flavor. Waiting pa sila. Happy Thursday from Belfast. Oh, ayan.
oh.
Okay lang.
Okay. I'm going to check that. Then pinadala ko na. Uh, okay. I'll
Okay.
check.
And then, baka naman nagbangka pa yung yung baka nag-paddle pa ng bangka yung from sabi from Liverpool nag ano pa nag
No, I said
yeah.
by Facebook.
So thank you Rudy. Tama yung ina-update tayo, di ba? Ayan, Somerset si Kate Foy, sabi niya nakakatuwa naman, you guys are so humble. Oh, thank you very much, Kate Foy, no? Hello, ano to? Solana Sherlyn Abellano. Sino yun? Yun ang pangalan niya?
Ewan ko, kinakamusta
Yeah.
niya ata.
Mm.
So,
Okay,
Abeliano.
okay. And then, si ano, Yan Galicia Paner. Hi, good evening. I'm watching from Cheltenham. Ayun. Okay, attorney,
Hello.
sinasabi, yeah, one of the, okay, kung bitin nga pala, let's go back to the topic, no? Kung bitin ng pera, ang sinasabi mo,
Mhm.
marami mga ways din, no?
Yeah.
Siguro yung benefits, not as long as yung mga benefits na hindi kinoconsider, okay? You mentioned yung, let's say kung 50,000 yung pera, and then you said 2.5 ang ano yan, yung parang multiplier, parang something, no? 2.5, ano yun? Are you saying that, for example, yung balance na yung 3,600 na kulang, halimbawa, you have to multiply that by 2.5 and that has to be the savings in the bank, 9,000? Yung ba ibig mo sabihin?
Oh, worse than that actually. So the formula is this, and this applies. It's good. It's worth noting the formula
Mm,
because it applies to all shortfall, no? So kung 15,000, so 3,600 ang kulang, no? So 18,600
mm,
kailangan, so 36. So the formula is this. Now, you multiply the shortfall by 2.5. Okay? So ito, in that
okay.
case,
So any
3,000.
shortfall, so any shortfall. So,
Yeah? So anything
oh, sige.
under, so
But still, it
3,
has to reach the, ano, teka muna, attorney. Kung ang short,
yeah,
kunyari, 14,000, so ang shortfall, 3.6, so magiging 4.6 times 2.5.
yeah.
Okay,
So
okay. Sige.
that's the first bit of the formula. So whatever the shortfall is, you multiply that by 2.5, no? Tapos, the second bit of the formula is, so that gives you then 9,000 pounds from 15,000, no? 2.5 times
Oh, oh.
uh,
So do 3.6
1,600.
times 3. That's
Yeah.
2.5, I should say. Yeah.
Okay. So, and then you add the 9,000, yeah, to the income that you have, which is 15,000. No?
Okay.
So,
O si ano na yan?
yeah,
Hmm.
so
So
if you like,
2024.
24,000. So, ang kailangan mong
Hmm.
savings, 24,000 pounds.
Teka
Yeah.
muna, teka
So,
muna.
huge
24,000 kailangan pera nasa bangko?
nasa bangko. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Wow,
massive.
hindi ba hindi ba mas difficult yun? Teka muna.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Oo, di ba?
yun na nga. Yeah, in most cases nga, kung yun ang income mo, pero kailangan mo pa rin magbayad ng, kung yung income mo, kailangan mo magbayad ng pamasahe, pagkain, no renta,
Oo.
there's no way that you would have probably savings of 24,000. But having said that, meron akong mga kalayante, nandito, kinuha sila ng magulang, nandito sila, okay, they're just starting nga out in life, but they then married, no? Gusto nang kunin yung asawa nila, but because they're just starting nga out, their income is on the lower side, no? 15,000. And yung nga lang, sa bahay, wala silang, hindi sila nagbabayad ng, ng renta, pagkain. So, a
Mm.
bit, if you like more, I mean, tayo, di ba? No? Tayo mga anak natin,
Mm.
usually you don't charge them rent. Ikaw pa rin magbabayad
Oo.
lahat dad nila kung kasama mo nga sila, no? So I've actually had cases where yung savings nga nung kliyente ko, nung asawa, is actually 24,000 pounds plus. Dahil kung ano man nakikita nila, apart from paying their mobile phone and every so often nga holidays, um, everything else is surplus, no? So that's how they've accumulated nga such a healthy savings. No? So it's not actually unusual to have fairly low income but a lot of savings. And I see that quite a lot. But mainly nga kung nakatira ka sa magulang mo, because otherwise
Mm.
rent, especially in London, no? Is quite expensive. So it's a difficult amount to accumulate. But if you're lucky enough and you have financial support from someone else, you can, no? So
Yan bang ano, hindi pwede yung ano, di ba sometimes ginagawa yan ng mga Pilipino, I'm sure you've heard of it, no? Sa when they do applications for visas, yung mga tinatawag na show money, you know. Um,
Mm-hmm.
is that something that can be done? Pero sinasabi mo, is there a period of time, a number of months of or ng ano ng evidence of bank statements that has to be shown? And if that's the case, would it be a good strategy is perhaps to siguro kung loved ones mo, mother mo, whatever, to leave the money dun muna sa pera mo in the meantime while you're trying to show that much amount of money within a period of time. How many months ba ang hinihingi? 6 months? 1 year? Meron bang ano? Or do they need to check on the history of the money
Yeah,
for a
I
longer time, longer
mean,
than perhaps 1 year?
generally, I like to submit, 12 months bank statements as a minimum, no? Especially if you're relying on savings. Pero yung nga, you're quite right. Oftentimes, yung mga tao sabi niya, you have you show money, ganon. So, never ever borrow, and to put in your account. I hear that all the time. Maglo-loan sila, lalagay nila doon, akala nila that's all you need to show. It's actually specifically noted in the
Mm-hmm.
guidance nga. Hindi nga pwede yung loan or loan and credit facilities. That will not count, no? Now, the same goes for, say, third-party support. So, kung sabihin natin yung nanay o tatay, they say, oh, yeah, bibigyan kita ng 10,000 o 15,000, naman yun, lagay mo sa account mo. That also is called third-party support. So, it would fall outside. They won't count that. At saka yun, tama ka, sabi mo, would they look at the history uh, um, uh, of where the money is from? Absolutely, they will look at that. Gusto na makita nga that it's actually money that you have earned, that you yourself have saved, no? That you're not going around the back route and just making showing money when it's not actually your money, and that can cause more problems than it solves. That if they think that you put money in there in order to get around the issue, no, pwede nang sabihin you tried to obtain, or your partner tried to obtain entry by deception, which would make the situation even worse. So, huwag niyong gagawin yon. Now, it's of course, if you have generous parents, no, binigyan ka regalo, it's still third party support, but you may be able to argue that it is to refuse um, uh, uh, would be against that you have exceptional circumstances because you have quite well-to-do parents, no. So don't try and get around it, no, back route nga. It's important na pera mo nga yun, no. And you can show also, I mean, I suppose it could also be namana mo, no. If that's the case, then you need to also show, okay, this is from my parents, my mother's will, my mother's estate, for example. That will count. So, but try not to do anything that's untoward.
Okay. Attorney, ano, let's say for example, ang mas may pera yung nasa Pilipinas. Yan hindi
Mm-hmm.
makakatulong yan, no? Let's say for example, hindi the person who is trying to get the spouse in the Philippines medyo hindi nakarating, hindi umabot yung sweldo. Pero yung nasa Pilipinas, may resources, may pera. Uh, would that be able to help? Kasi may kilala ako,
Um,
ganito, no, attorney. Yeah, there's this nurse, makwento ko lang mabilis. There's this nurse that he had to prove to the family of the girl kasi yung girl is a doctor at medyo mayaman
mhm,
at siguro nagkakilala sila, they fell in love. He was probably working at the same, they were both working at the same hospital. Anyway, the girl is a doctor, the guy is a nurse. He wanted to impress, spend a lot of money, parang I don't want your family to, I'd like to shoulder everything, so parang ganun. But in the process, he bumaba ang savings, wala, parang ano, and he was denied, he was refused. And
mhm.
the wife was saying, I have the money, can we just, can it also be the one to show that, we have the capability of living together, or we can sustain ourselves or maintain ourselves. Yan ba, pwede ba ang part, yung spouse to show na may pera o hindi? It has to be the person, the sponsor, who has to prove that he has, uh, yung mga requirements, he has complied with the requirements.
Yeah. So, I
Ito,
mean,
doktora,
generally,
attorney, may pera.
yeah. So generally, gusto na makita nga that it's the sponsor. But no, absolutely. If you have a lot of savings yourself, no, that it boils down to this: the income and savings requirements nga, or rather the income requirements, that's been imposed. Na gusto na makita, gusto na siguraduhin na pagka nandito ka na meron kang sapat ang pera mo, no? So if you are able to show that you yourself have very healthy savings, then no, absolutely, you can put that forward. No, my experience is it's often the other way around. The one who has savings nga or the income is the one here. But no, absolutely, tama ka. Kung marami siyang pera sa atin, yeah, absolutely, that can certainly be used.
What do you mean? Be used to help,
Yes,
to support the application?
yeah,
Oh,
yes,
really?
no,
Oh, okay.
absolutely,
Oh, okay.
forward. Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, it's a lot of so sabihin natin 15,000 yung sweldo mo dito, no? Tapos you then therefore need 24,000 pounds savings. So 24,000 pounds in pesos is huge, no? I don't know how many millions that would be. But yeah, so pero kung nandoon ang pera, then sure.
Okay. Attorney, may nagpapatanong, no? Work permit visa, uh, dadalaw dito yung yung sweetheart para ikasal. Would it be best saan daw ikasal? Is it the Philippine Embassy or is it the dito sa UK? Can people apply? Kunyari work permit and then can they apply and then for their partners to come or their prospective, no? Siguro si fiancé and then get married here. Pwede ba yan? Pwede bang apply yan malayo pa lang nandun pa or should it be the time that they're over here when they should be applying for that? Yung marriage kunyari sa UK sa isang council or isang or anywhere, no?
Mm-hmm.
Sa UK.
Um, yeah, you can apply for a visitor marriage visa. So it's coming in to visit, but with the sole purpose actually of getting married in the United Kingdom. Tapos uuwi ka sa atin, no? And then you're making an application then to come into the UK as the spouse of your partner. Kung yun na nga tier 2 or work permit. In the olden days, work permit holder nga siya. So it just kung dito nga kayo kanasal, it's not going to be a question. Just beware, no? It's not going to be a question of just simply swapping or making then an application to remain in the United Kingdom as your dependent, no? Dahil bisito nga yung asawa mo. So you can get married in the UK, but yeah, you can apply for visit visa, absolutely. A marriage visit visa, actually, it's called, no? And then marry in the United Kingdom. But in that case, it may be better kung pwede silang kasal nga sa atin, kung nasa Pinas, then it may just be, frankly, easier and cheaper to just do that, tapos kunin mo siya sa your dependent as a tier 2.
Uwi na lang siya. Ganon. Baka, hindi, kasi, okay. Really, okay. Tier 2 is,
Yeah.
tier 2 because nasa work permit siya.
Yeah.
Holder.
So,
Tier 2.
yeah.
So better ba yon? Oo. Hindi, baka feeling
Yeah.
nila romantic yung parang dito darating, dito tayo magpapakasal eh. Okay, pero kung
Yeah.
okay, so yan ay for heterosexual. Pero kung yung same sex, hindi po pwede sa Philippine
Yeah.
Embassy. Kailangan dito sa UK, no? UK Pero
Tama.
yun bakit yan kikilalanin ng Philippines yata. Kikilalanin ng Philippines yan, no? Pero kung same-sex marriage yata, alam ko pwede magpakasal sa embassy. Pwede yata eh,
I,
as far as
I'm not really sure.
hmm.
And I
Sorry. It's the
don't.
other way around. Sorry. It's the other way around. Hindi pwede ang same sex because we never have ever in the Philippines hindi allowed ang same sex marriage. Sorry, my apologies. No, pero yung same sex you can marry dito sa UK, di ba? Pwede yan.
Yeah. Tama.
Pero yung sa
Yeah.
embassy, heterosexual yan. Kailangan hetero yan. Yung babae, lalaki, ganun. Ayun.
Yeah. No.
Okay, pwede
I
palang
think that.
ganyan, no? Kaya lang, advisable kung pakakasalan din naman at magiging dangerous ba? Has ever anybody tried yung, sige, sweetheart, punta ka rito, kasalan tayo rito, work permit, ha? And then, sige, Attorney Lira, magandang hapon no. Pwede mo bang i-convert namin into a, yun, alam mo na, di ba? Pwede ba yun? Hindi possible, sabi mo, hindi possible, di ba? They have to go home. Uwi yung kumuha ng visitor's visa.
Yeah, the visitor visa ka nga, no? So unless you can show, so it's exceptional circumstances nga, then you won't be able to just simply convert, no? And sometimes, yeah, I can understand romantic nga dito, you go to, to the UK, maybe in the winter, no, dahil walang winter sa atin, no, if we're lucky, a little bit of snow, dito kayo kakasal. So all that is, if you can, if it works for you practically, absolutely, why not? No, it's kind of getting married and honeymoon at the same time, di ba? But
Mm-mm.
if you are, if that's not if that's not a practical way of doing it, then it may be better nga. Tignan nyo. So, I mean, there's also no point spending so much money to come here just to go back. No? So you may find it better if you can, that you marry nga sa Pinas, no? And then bring your spouse into the United Kingdom as your dependent. That may be a faster, cheaper, and potentially better way of doing it. But yeah, no, absolutely. Kung gusto niyo magpakasal dito and then maybe tour Europe, that would be great, di ba, no, Sonny?
Yeah, of course, siyempre. Europe is Europe with the castles, with lahat, no? Maganda dito sa Europe, eh. Very colorful ang mga cultures, sa mga lugar din na pupunta mo, different people, different cultures, no? Aha. Pero
Yeah.
hindi mo naman pwede i-claim ka agad na sabi mo, I don't know, exceptional case na biglang all of a sudden bigla ka natakot sumakay ng eroplano. Hindi na po pwedeng gano'n, no? Hindi na pwedeng i-alibay mo na I would like to stay here now and because I don't I'm afraid to ride fly a plane. Oh, hindi po pwede yan, no? What would be an exceptional ba sabi mo? Hindi bibihira, no? Hindi naman wala namang
Yeah.
exceptional na case, no?
Yeah. I mean, exceptional circumstances, they really mean it. No? When they say exceptional circumstances, hindi nga lang na, no, it's
Mm.
inconvenient, no? Na, or you, yeah, inconvenient or cheaper nga dito na, why even go back? So, they mean exceptional by you can't otherwise pursue a family life, for example, no. So that may be arguable, especially in same-sex relationship, no. Exceptional
Mhm.
circumstances because your marriage in the UK will not be recognized, say in the Philippines. O kung may mga bata, no. So it could
Mm.
also be na yung bata nasa sabihin natin na nandito nga, no, and kailangan may mag-alaga also, and the husband or the wife is the one looking after the child. So exceptional circumstances can vary from case to case, but they do mean exceptional circumstances. So it has to go well beyond convenience or inconvenience nga, and well beyond maybe what's practical, no? So and also remember, no, kung nagpasok kayong application and that application is then refused, ibig sabihin meron kayong background. So if you don't have to rely on exceptional circumstances, then don't, because you may be just courting problems which would be unnecessary.
Okay, we'll have a break no, pero basahin ko lang itong some of the greetings here. Oh, si Ranjit, no? He's checked in already. He said, good evening. Ayan to si Ranjit, no? He said, teka man, asa may greeting. Okay, Ranjit says, ayan, good evening, asan na ba yan? Good evening to you, both Sir Sunny and Lovely. Uy, talagang lovely lira na ngayong ano, no? And everyone, because you've made the Thursday lovely by calling it a happy Thursday. How are you both? Ayan, wasp. I got stung once by a wasp when a kid, no? And since then, when a wasp now comes near, I do a wasp dance.
The was
A wasp dance. So, okay, okay. Pero ako, I really,
I tell
really, it was takot na takot ako because we were trying to attack the, because it was close to our door. Ayan pala, ang mga wasp pala yan, pag winter time, one will have to fly away, parang, and then would find a place and she would become parang the queen or queen wasp or queen, and they will hide in a
you,
very talagang kailangan na place wherein the spider couldn't find them. Kasi pagka ano, if they are found, they will be kakainin sila, mamatay. And then, yun nga, another cycle na naman yan, no? So may natitirang isa, tapos ganun eh. And then it will look for a place to hide for the winter time. Napag-aralan ko na lang lahat yan because of yung wasp na yan. Talagang grabe yung takot ko sa wasp na yan. Grabe na yung wasp na yan, oo. Oo, grabe yan. Okay. Uy, si Marinel Velasco says, watching from Redditch. Uy, ano ba, saan ba
Ah,
Redditch? Is it Surrey or is it Hampshire? Saan ba Redditch? Uh,
hindi ako sigurado.
Hindi po
I
sigurado.
need to
Ito,
look it up.
friend ko po si Solana Sherlyn Abellano. Same place kami, sir. And ma'am. Okay. Saan bang lugar si, taga Somerset pala. Oh, yeah. Somerset is good, no? Ang
Tondo.
Somerset would be ano ba yun, yung mga bato, ano ba yan? Stonehenge, no? Somerset ba yan?
Stonehenge.
Is it,
Is it Somerset? No, I don't. Is it?
I don't,
Oh, you know, I
I don't
can't.
know. Hindi ba Somerset yung Stonehenge? A part of Somerset? Hindi ba?
I don't. You know what I
Anyway.
know of Somerset? Uh, Good cricket in
Right.
Somerset.
Somerset. Okay, okay. Si ano ba? Sino ba taga Somerset? Okay. Taga-sama si si Camila. Princess tuloy. Si Camila. Hindi ko alam Somerset or
Oh
Cornwall. But the Duchess of Cornwall yata siya. Pero is she from Cornwall or from Somerset?
no,
Anyway,
no,
oo. Ayan, si
no.
Virginia. Sabi ni Virginia, the requirements that an applicant must meet in order to obtain a spouse visa are set out in Appendix FM of the immigration rules. Ba? These rules contain a
Yeah,
minimum income requirement of at least 18,600 or a cash savings requirement of at least 62,000,
yeah,
62,500 or a combination of both. Wow. All right.
that's
Okay.
correct.
Ano to? Wow. Sabi nung nag-react siya, no? Sabi niya, this is really good. I am learning something in this live talk show. Ayan. Thank you, Attorney Lira, for sharing. Ayan.
My
Okay.
pleasure po. My
Ah,
pleasure.
oo. Ayan. Oo. Meron pa, sabi ko na, cider and cricket sa Somerset. Oh, cider. Ang cider, di ba? May apple cider, may mga cider. Ang cider, ano yan, di ba?
Yeah,
Something that you can drink lighter than beer. Ganun ba?
yeah.
Dito hindi beer ang
No,
tawag, di
cider.
ba? Ano ba tawag dito?
Yeah.
Cider ba dito? Ano ba when you go, beer ba tawag dito? Hindi yata, beer yata.
No, no,
Anyway,
there's cider. Cider is very nice, no? So especially kung malamig.
okay, all right. So, I'm gonna be having a break and then when we come back, tuloy lang natin may mga pagbati kayo rito, no? So, saglit ho lamang, tayo ay babalik, no? Saglit po lamang. Okay, saglit po lamang. Sandali po. Ayan. All right, we're gonna be back. Upo ka na lang.
During these trying times, we salute the frontliners who are tirelessly caring for all of us against the COVID 19. To all the courageous nurses, doctors, carers, and paramedics at the NHS, words are not enough to thank you. We at Highlight Express International are here to support you back with a full semester 10% discount when you send your balikbayan boxes to your family in the Philippines. Dahil ang Highlight Express International ay para sa pamilya.
One 100% all natural. Tasty. Healthy. Versatile. 4 unique flavors. Taste a real sauce. Galettos.
Okay, we're Back on the program, ayan, at pinag-uusapan natin kasi yung mga financial, ano ba tong attorney, yung these are the financial problems, no? Yung requirements in spouse applications, what can go wrong? Ayan. Ano ba, what
Yeah.
can go wrong ba? Like, if you,
Oh,
parang
yeah.
i-recap natin, what can go wrong ba?
Yeah, I mean, so many things can, unfortunately, well, so many things can go wrong. But it's question now, looking to see what you can do to solve the issue. So, start with the premise nga 18,600 if there are no children. No, that's the minimum income that you need to show as a sponsoring partner. So, insufficient
Mhm.
income, natin 15,000 ang income nga. Pwede mo see if you can combine that with, say, some savings. So, yung nga, we were calculating earlier on, kung 15,000 income mo and your shortfall there was 3,600, your savings na kailangan pakita is actually the huge amount of 24,000 pounds. No? Now, you can also combine your income potentially with other sources of income. So, for example, if you have rental income or indeed if you have a pension, to make up the 18,600. But just beware, if you're self-employed and on top of that employed, you need to make sure that the financial year, the tax financial year, ay magkatugma. Now, if you're on benefits, it doesn't mean that you can't apply. You will, if you receive certain types of benefits, then it could be that you can argue that there's adequate maintenance. So typically, it would be something like cares allowance, disability living allowance, personal independence payment. So those types of benefits. Now, most other benefits outside those they will not count. Income support or universal credit as child benefit, they will not count towards the income. Loans and credit facilities, they will not count towards the income. Now, if all else fails, then you should see, are there exceptional circumstances nevertheless for the Home Office to grant your family a visa to come to the UK. So there would be things like children, for example, the fact that maybe your parents are anyway supporting you, so you don't have to pay rent effectively, or indeed food, so that even though your income is say 15,000, your disposable income, the reality is that your disposable income is in fact more than someone who's earning even maybe twice as much as you. So those things certainly can go wrong, but hopefully there's a solution by looking at that. Oh yeah, and let's not forget, of course, the temporary concession, which is to do with COVID. So if you lost your job or became furloughed and your income has fallen behind 18,600, but the change in income, the lower income came about from the 1st of March 2020 hanggang 1st of January 2021, then it's still possible to satisfy the income requirement. So don't forget that. So especially ngayon, marami tayong mga kababayan unfortunately na apektuhan nito ng COVID, especially those who are working in the hospitality trade, mga restaurants, which is incredibly bad and incredibly sad.
Mm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh. Uh, right. Okay, ito, merong comment si Virginia. Sabi niya, if they get married, if the partner is British, be sure they get certificate of no impediment sa UK Embassy sa Philippines or local registry UK. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Parang the British guy, whoever, or the British guy or gal has to prove na may no impediment na walang ano? Ganun ba yan?
Yeah, I think
Tama ba yan?
it's actually. Yeah, no, she makes a good point there. But those are requirements not to say marry in the Philippines. As I understand it, hanggang ngayon, kung ako ang plano, nandito yung fiancé mo, no? So, nandito, in British na
Yeah.
yung fiancé mo, and you want to marry, sabihin natin sa Pinas, no? The Philippine authorities will require certain documents to show, no, kailangan pakita nga that you are free to marry. And one of the things that they look at is
Who is
they
free to
require
marry?
the
Attorneys,
British,
who is free to marry? The British.
the
Okay,
British.
okay, all right.
Yeah. So yung
Mm.
sabi, if they get married, partners British, be sure they. So no impediments, the UK Embassy Philippines or local well, the local registry in the UK, not really, okay? You don't need a certificate of no impediment. But as I understand it, if you are marrying in the Philippines, or probably also the Philippine embassy in the UK, they probably want to see also the same thing because, of course, the Philippine law will apply. So they would want to ensure that you are indeed the British, are indeed free to marry. And the ways to show that would be this thing called Certificate of No Impediment. I don't know. I think sa atin there's something called Senomar, I think, which is
Yes, certificate of no marriage.
yeah. So
Oh,
exactly,
Senomar.
certificate. Yeah. So the certificate of no impediment is a requirement for the sponsoring the British is if you're getting married, say in the Philippines, or
In
actually
the
I would
Philippines.
imagine
Oh,
the
oh.
Philippines in the UK. But yeah, but you would not require that usually for a local registrar in the UK. At least I've not had an experience where my clients have had issues
Mm.
because they don't have a certificate of no impediment, probably because the local registrar can make the relevant searches themselves and they put up a notice also before you're able to marry. And if you also remember before the notice is a year or so back now, notice that you need to give to the registrar subject to any immigration issues was I think 14 days ata or 15 days dati. But ngayon dumoble na. I think now it's 28 days if you don't have immigration issues.
So, for example, somebody's watching our show, for example, baka, let's say, mga Pinoy, they probably want to have a marriage here sa UK, no? Magkasal lang sila, or civil or anything. Posible ba yan?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, may pera sila sa Pilipinas, they can afford. And they just wanted to be married in kamukha yata nung di ba kilala mo itong sikat na doktora yung how would you call it, a plastic surgeon, hindi ko lang, hindi naman plastic surgeon, si Vicky Bello, yung mga, have you heard of Vicky Bello, attorney? Yung mga skin ng mga pan, di ba? They got married yan sa Paris, France, di ba?
Yeah,
Posible ba yun na mga Pilipino, halimbawa may dalawang nagmamahalan, sige, doon tayo ikasal sa UK, pwede ba mag-apply?
yeah. No, you
Yung
nga.
isa, yung
You
isa,
you
yung kanina, yung isa work permit dito isa, tapos yung isa fiancé na who will come over as a tourist just to get married, no?
yeah.
Yan, dalawang Pilipino. Oh, darating dito, magkakasal. Pwede?
Yeah, no, absolutely, you can. Dahil Pinoy nga tayo, kailangan natin visang pumasok dito. So you would need then a visitor type visa, but specifically to be able to marry, no? So it is a type of visitor visa, but with the idea of getting married nga in the United Kingdom. But of course, that's all you're going to be able to do. So it's a visit visa, hindi ka pwede magtrabaho, hindi ka pwede mag-aral. So you get married in the UK and then you go back. So yeah, absolutely, you can you can do that. Yeah, if you have the funds, and why not? No, di ba? Enjoy
Oo.
naman.
Oh. Attorney, getting a master's degree or getting a doctorate degree in the UK, is it also a good route for somebody to be able to stay here and find jobs perhaps? Posible ba yun? Ang mga pagka-graduate studies ba o hindi naman? It doesn't follow.
A student visa, so there it would come under what's called the points-based system, So the points-based system replaced the old in the olden days not work permit, So points-based system would be things like tier one, for example, in the kind of investment category, if you have a lot of
Mhm.
money or you're really talented. Tapos tier two, would be that's the one we talked about 2 weeks back when I got terribly excited that it's very
Mm.
likely that they will this
Oo.
nga
Uy,
marry.
oo.
Ano ba? Yeah.
Hindi, did you do some additional do sa farmers, sa mga ganun-ganun pa yata, mga dentist, mga dentist assistants. But later on, sige, tuloy mo lang yung sinasabi, tier 1, tier
Yeah.
2.
Well,
Because the
yeah.
question basically is, would it be a good route perhaps to eventually find something, an opportunity to perhaps be able to, work here, or, people might invest in education on a master's level, or on a doctoral level, no? Oh, sige, go ahead, attorney.
Yeah,
Tier two, you were saying tier one, money, exceptional talent, athlete, I don't know, artist, and
yeah.
then tier two comes,
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely. I mean, one thing that the government is saying they will do, and there's some moves towards this nga, is yung nga gusto nilang they want to invite, as they put it in their policy document nga, the best and the brightest, no? So kung nandito ka sa student, so you're on what's called a tier 4 visa, and you want them to remain in the United Kingdom. There are possibilities, yeah. If you've studied nga in the UK and you want to remain, and also that's going to potentially change again on the 1st of January, you know. So to open it up, because what the government wants to do, and well, apparently according to their policies, to see if they can retain the talent. Dahil nandito naman na nga sila, no? But just again, just beware, no? Be alert, that just because nandito ka na, no, you've applied, you're a student here, then you can then automatically switch, because that's not the case. Um, so it depends also kung anong natapos mo. I mean, we all know that they're looking to recruit, say, nurses nga in the UK, and there's always a shortage of nurses in the UK. There's always shortage of medical, really, you know, staff, doctors, for example, nga in the UK. And yung nga, sabi ko nga, so,
Hmm.
hopefully, and very likely, I think senior care workers will likely be included to the shortage occupation list from the 1st of January. I mean, at the moment, there's no indication that they would not follow the MAC report. No? And I really do hope that they do, because I think it would be it's a win-win situation. I think for the United Kingdom, and also
Hmm.
the people who are coming in, hindi nga lang sa Pinas, but you know, everywhere, who have that kind of those experience and qualification.
Attorney, a cider and cricket, yon sinasabi ni ano, cider and cricket, apple cider daw, sabi ni,
Ah,
ano pangalan to?
yeah.
Apple cider. Ah, si ano yata, si Pat si Penilla, ito yata yung meron siyang case yata na parang, di ba we were talking about yung, ano ba yung mga, yung bawat yung sentence yata, tapos a certain sentence nababan ka na, di ba? A certain sentence after may years of parang ano ka, di ba, na parang hindi ka pwede mo na mag-apply, di ba? Na parang yung meron tayong
Yeah.
from pag yung sentence, no, na sentenceyahan ka, no? Or may custodial, mga ganyan-ganyan, no? Sabi niya, Attorney Lira, busy siguro, sabi niya, Attorney Lira, kasi meron siya with a custody of 6 months. Will it be better? Ito. Kuya, pa-ask kay attorney with a custody of up to 6 months. Ayan. Will my case be better to have my wife be Brit muna?
Yeah, the two are quite separate, no? But if you're going to
Hmm.
try and argue, going back to what we were saying before, so similarly, yung exceptional circumstances, no? If you're going to try and argue
Mm-hmm.
that, one of the things you can say is, look, my wife is now also British, which of course, which um, again is further evidence that the United Kingdom is actually the country where we have decided we want to make our home. No, so the fact that she has applied to become British, or is British, yeah, it may add to the weight of arguing that there are exceptional circumstances um, to to which should lead to the Home Office granting you leave to remain. Sorry, not leave to remain, naturalization, despite the fact nga that you've had the custodial sentence.
Ano ba status niya ngayon? Parang dependent
Inde-
of a work permit holder? Oo.
no, no,
Okay.
no. I think
So it's,
yes, yeah.
sorry?
So indefinite leave to remain na siya. So settled status na nga siya. Yung nga lang,
Okay, okay.
so the question, I think he was saying there. So he wants to apply for naturalization. Yung nga lang may nangyari,
Ah, oo.
can you still do so? So the answer is,
Oo.
and second question is, or what he's asking now is, would his application be helped by the wife becoming British muna? And so the answer is, yeah, no, it potentially would,
It
because
might.
it is,
It could potentially would. Oh, okay. Or kung
so
may
it's an
problema
out.
din, would you be able to, or kung may problema din, would you be able to live with just being a permanent resident? Okay din, okay lang naman yata yun, di ba?
Yeah,
Wala
okay nga
namang
din.
problema.
Not
Mm-mm.
necessarily, but so put it this way, no? If you're permanent
Mm-mm.
resident, so but you indefinite leave to remain, o permanente ka na nga
Mm-mm.
dito, tapos may mangyari, no? That leads to, say, criminality, no? Pwede nilang bawiin nga yung indefinite leave to remain mo, no? And it's easier to do that if you have indefinite leave to remain than, say, if you were British already. No? What sometimes also happens is, sabihin natin, you decide actually you're going to retire sa Philippines. No? You want to spend longer time nga, and you're there for longer than 2 years. Kung indefinite leave to remain ka, no? You can lose your indefinite leave to remain, which means you need to come, before you can come back, you need to apply for another visa called returning resident, potentially. No? But kung British ka, you don't lose your citizenship, just because you're there sa Pinas nga for 2 years. And anyway, you can of course be dual. So you can be a Filipino citizen and at the same time, a British citizen. So you can reacquire nga your Philippine citizenship. So there are advantages to becoming British, if your future lies at least in part, or if not mainly, in the UK.
Okay, all right. Okay, well, yun ang ano. Nakalimutan ko, may question sana ako. Di ko kagad na isulat, no? Ayan. Pero at least, no, ayan, may mga paglilinaw ngayon, no, maski paano, no, do sa tungkol sa problems, financial things na pwede niyong ma-encounter, no, in terms of what do you call this, itong yung mga what can go wrong, no? Anong pwede mga problema, no? Ayan, yun ang mga strategies na pwede ho niyong gawin, no? Maraming mga combinations at yun
Mm.
pala, pagka nakatira ka doon sa parents mo, dahil hindi ka kang masyadong gumagastos, that could also be, ano, no? Okay din, to your favor, work to your favor, no? Pwede rin,
Oh,
no?
absolutely. And don't forget,
Pero,
although ang focus natin ngayon is yung pera, no, income, and indeed savings. When they say financial requirements, yeah, they mean also accommodation. Yeah? So don't
mm,
forget, kahit nga sapat ang pera mo, you need to also be able to show na pagka nandito na yung asawa mo, yung partner mo, that they're suitable accommodation for both of you. Now it doesn't have to be owned by you. It doesn't have to be a whole flat nga or a whole house.
mm,
So pwede kwarto, as long as that kwarto nga lang, as long as it's occupied by you and your wife or husband solely, no? So it can be a bed set, a room in a house, that's okay nga. So there shouldn't be overcrowding, for example. So but yeah, don't forget, because sometimes nga you're so focused nga on income, nakalimutan mo yung accommodation. So you still need to provide, of course, evidence of accommodation.
ayan, oo, okay. Right, oh, wow. Merong mga permitted na mga, ano pala, benefits, no? Then you will not need to
Yeah,
earn 18,600, no? Yung mga permitted benefits, yung mga Armed Forces Independence Payment, dami pala yan. Attendance allowance, carers allowance. Oh, pwede pa yung carers allowance?
yeah, yeah,
Constant
yeah. So
attendance
that
allowance, disability living allowance, industrial injury disablement allowance. Ang dami pala. Personal independent payment, PIP.
yeah.
Mobility supplement or work. Pero teka lang, parang mga matatanda na yata itong mga to. Sa bagay, dito may matatanda, nag-aasawa ng bata, eh, no? Di ba? Wala namang problema,
Uh,
no?
yeah,
Oo.
or some
Oo.
personal independence payment, where they need a bit more help. It's not, and sometimes yung disability living allowance. I mean, I've had clients now who are very young, who unfortunately have met with accidents, or illness,
Mm-mm.
which then they can't, they need, they're entitled to apply and receive a disability living allowance. So it's really, I suppose,
Ayan, oo.
it's a fair exemption, if I can put it that way. It's not really an exemption. It's to ensure nga
Oo.
that just because you get with, say, ill health or yung accident that prevents you from working, that you're not then stopped from bringing your spouse into the UK, which again is fair enough. I do think they should widen it, because I still remember a time when there was no 18,600, and there was a lot of
Wala nung
controversy
araw,
when
no?
they,
Wala nung araw, attorney, no?
yeah,
Wala, no?
it's not. Oh no, tatandaan na. I think I can't actually remember when the 18,600 was introduced. It was. It could have been the 20, 2012 din ata. Lots of things happened in
Ang
2012,
dami,
which were
yeah, a lot of things, no? Nung Tuesday nga, ang dami nagtatanong tungkol sa immigration, eh. Nakakatuwa lang dahil, yun nga, ano tawag doon? Ang dami nagtatanong tungkol sa immigration. Nakakatuwa lang na they are, yung nga sa immigration, sabi ko, hindi, Thursday kayo manood at dahil Thursday nga talaga ang dapat na na pagpanooran.
Oh,
Okay,
remember
sandali lang.
on Tuesday, yung maganda at yung bata, si Dana. On Thursday, yung matanda, ako. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Ayan, oo. Hindi, maganda kasi combination ninyo dahil you talk about, parang maganda, nakakatuwa nga dahil, uh, you know, uh, iba't ibang batas, no? Yung mga injury, personal injury, contracts, breaches
Yeah,
of contracts. Alam mo,
absolutely.
baka isang taong kong ginagawa to, para na rin akong vicariously, parang honorary, student lawyer, no? Parang gano'n, no?
Yeah,
Dahil siyempre,
yeah,
dahil
no,
it's, di ba, being exposed to you, both of you, somehow, para maski na anong bobo mo siguro kung araw-araw nadidinig mo, di ba? Kaya nga sabi nga ng mga professors namin no, sa College of Law, basta attend ka lang ng klase kasi, di ba, maski paano, baka may mapulot ka rin naman, maski paano, di ba? Kaya nakaupo ka rin, o nakikinig ka lang, o di ako, natututo ako sa iyo, attorney, no, maski paano, di ba? Maski
but
paano,
yeah, but
di man, di ba?
it's
Okay,
also
well,
it's both. No? No, natututo din ako sa iyo, and also yung mga viewers nga natin, no?
yes, oo, tama. They share.
Uh,
Oo, nag-share sila ng
it's
mga
possible,
information.
yeah. Definitely, it's impossible to know everything, no? And what's good nga, yung programa nga natin is you then you get to know, okay, these are issues that you may not have come across before, or kaya it then leads me to look something up, no? Because it's also not
Mm.
something that I'm very familiar with. So it's and also now I know, and it's only today na alam ko na walang lamok sa Iceland.
Wala, nagbasa kasi ako nga dahil yung kanta natin, yung kanta ni, gusto mo pakinggan, parinig ko sa iyo yung kanta natin, attorney. I-work out mo
Yeah,
lang
yeah.
kung ano, ha? Medyo mag-lighter side tayo, no?
Okay, no.
I'll let you hear the song. Hindi pa final to, 95% pa lang tong tapos. But let me know kung ang feeling mo dito sa ating song na ito, no? Um,
Okay.
okay, ito. Parinig ko sa iyo, attorney, kung if you can make out, kung maintindihan mo yung words, yung
Okay,
lyrics,
okay.
ha? Oo, tingnan natin ito. Mga kaibigan, sa Sabado ho, mamimigay ako ng $50. Maraming $50 yan. And hopefully, we'll come up with a lot of, sana hopefully, mga prizes na madadagdagan yan. And wala naman na kayo ginagawa. Nasa bahay lang. And, pandemic naman, no? Eh di, manood ho kayo ng ating program. Mamimigay tayo ng mga papremyo. Okay, ito attorney, ito yung kanta natin, ng song natin ng
Mm-hmm.
pamagat dito, Sabado Panalo, no? Ito, pakinggan mo, ha?
Okay.
Magjoy man damay, magjoy man damay, magjoy man damay. Sabado Panalo, ang game show ni SONNY Laragan. Dito tayo ay magbarkadahan, at kung siswerten ka, kami ay nagagalak. Ang pang hinintay? Mag-joy mang damay, mag-joy mang damay, mag-joy mang damay,
Pasayaw
mag-joy
tayo.
mang damay. Oh, yeah. Halika na, malaki ang tsansa. Imbitado ka at mananalo ka. Kesa magmukmok, buti pang lumahok. Tuloy ang ligaya, may pandemic o wala. Sige na, join ka dito. Sige na, Sabado panalo. Sige na, Sabado panalo. Sabado panalo, ang game show ni Sunny Laragan. Dito tayo ay magbarkadahan, at kung siswerten ka, kami ay nagagalak. Ano pang hinintay? Mag-join mang damay, mag-join mang damay, mag-join mang damay, mag-join mang damay. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow!
Yeah.
Ayun.
Oh,
Patapos na. Jingle yun. Jingle natin, attorney.
Sabado panalo, ang game show ni Sunny Laragan. Dito tayo ay magbarkadahan, at kung siswerten ka, kami ay nagagalak. Ano pang hinintay? Mag-join mang damay,
Yan, mag-join. Mag-join. Ano
mag-join
yan?
mang damay, mag-join mang damay, mag-join mang damay.
Ayun.
Oh!
Sabado panalo ka. Sunny Laragan. Yun ang ating attorney. What do you think? Ano? Sa
Sino kumakanta?
ano yan, attorney?
Sino kumakanta?
Si Archie D. Archie Dairocas. He has a song. Hindi ko lang, baka mamaya hindi ilabas kasi dahil kukunin natin sa YouTube. But he sang, ano ba yung mga songs ni Archie Dairocas? Yung kay Regine Velasquez na mahal kita. Siya ang gumawa nun. And he was, like I said, the Archie D of... If you Google Archie Dairocas, Archie D or Archie Dairocas, ilalabas yan eh. Siya yung, ano ba tawag dito? Tingnan mo kung mailabas, ano ko lang. Basta kumakanta siya, mga Randy. Panahon ni Randy Santiago, attorney. Nandun ka pa ba sa Pilipinas?
Yeah, I
Si
can't
attorney...
remember that.
Si Randy Santiago yung nakasalamin lagi. Na kasi may ano yata yung mata niya, no? Kaya...
Oh, yeah.
Di ba si Randy Santiago? Sikat na sikat siya noong panahon na yun. Si alalay lang niya si Willie Rebillame. Mayaman na si Willie Rebillame, no? Napakayaman na. Ano ba tawag ito?
Oh, I remember the Rico Puno days rather than anything. So,
All right. Okay. Rico Puno. Oo, sa Rico Puno days. Okay. Yeah, oo. Ito ang lyrics niya. Sabado panalo ang game show ni Sunny Laragan. Sabado panalo ang game show ni Sunny Laragan. Dito tayo'y magbarkadahan, at kung suswertehin ka, kami ay nagagalak. Ano pang hinihintay? Mag-join. Ano yung mag-join? Ano? Nahuli mo ba yun?
Yeah.
Meron siya sinasabi, mag-join. Mag-join. Sabi niya, di ba? Sabi niya.
Mag-join mang damay,
Ayan, mag-join man.
mag-join mang damay, mag-join mang damay. Sabado panalo, ang game show ni Sunny.
Ano yan?
Yeah,
So,
damay.
mag-join. May iba sabi, Bisaya ba yun? Parang gamay ba? O ano? Pero actually,
Yeah, damay.
how do you make it out? Ano yung mag-join? Ano sabi niya, di ba?
Damay, di ba?
Oh, yeah.
Mag-join mang damay, mag-join mang damay, Sabado panalo ang game.
Ano,
Di ba,
mag-join,
damay,
actually mag-join
damay.
mangdamay. Parang you join and then also encourage others, idamay mo sila to join in and watch. So mag-join ka
Ah,
at the same time if you
oh,
can encourage others, 'di ba? Ang damay naman kasi it could also mean you parang you sympathize or parang nagdumadamay ka you show ano or you could also be na you want to involve other people, idamay mo. So mag-join
tama.
mangdamay. The point is you're trying to
Yeah,
encourage more people to watch the show para may chance na manalo. So, ayun. Tapos may line
yeah.
siya rin. Original line niya, attorney. Yung line niya, sabi niya, kesa magmukmok, dadapuan ka ng lamok, sabi niya. So, sabi ko, ganun, teka muna, wala yata masyadong lamok dito. Baka yung mga taga-ice na nanonood, sabihin na, kesa magmukmok, dadapuan ka ng lamok. So, we change it to, buti pang
Oo,
lumahok. It's instead of
lumahok.
sulking or, di ba, it's best for you to
Oo nga,
join.
oo.
Mas
Yeah,
mabuti pang lumahok.
yeah,
Tuloy ang ligaya, may pandemic o wala. Ayun, oh. So,
yeah.
yan,
I
jingle
think
na yan.
that was,
Okay lang yan, attorney. Oh, so,
yeah,
imbis na,
great.
kag, ang original niyan, kagatin ng lamok o something like that eh. Kasi nga, it has to rhyme with magmukmok and then lamok. So, sabi namin, teka muna,
Uh,
parang baka walang lamok. So, let's just say, buti pang lumahok. It's better or it's best for you to join. So, instead of
yeah,
sulking o imbes na magmukmok,
yeah.
buti pang lumahok. Ayan.
Mahok.
Or halina't lumahok
Yeah,
or whatever, no? Ayun. So, yun
yeah.
ho, mag-join, mangdamay. So, sa
Yes.
Saturday yan, lunchtime, but we will have to probably 15 minutes yung parang we play the song, and then you will have to like the post, share the post, and comment na we're watching from Iceland, we're watching from, oh yeah, ano ha, attorney ha, this is not only for the UK ha, this is Europe-wide, ha, Europe-wide.
Ah,
So,
talaga? Oh,
anybody, oh, from Malta, from Switzerland, from Spain, from any Pinoy. Hindi mo ba nakikita yung pinopost natin? Ano, meron tayong pinopost na hindi ko rito na ano, may pinopost sa attorney sa sa Facebook na pakita ko lang para makita lang ng mga kababayan natin kung ano yung pinopost natin na ano, ito ho yung pinopost namin na lumabas na ano, ito, I don't know kung paano ba to. Ayan. Ito ho yan, ito attorney yung lumalabas na pinalalabas natin sa kanila. Uy,
tignan
asa na
natin.
ba yan? Teka na, pakikita natin. Ito ho, sa Facebook ko ng Sunny Laragan. Meron akong page sa Facebook, yung Sunny Laragan Official. Doon ho nyo pwedeng mapanood tong, ano, makita ho yun, itong ating sinasabi, ano. Asa na ba to? Okay. We'll have to move it to a different, ano pala. Okay. Sandali, ha? Para mapakita ko lang bago tayo paalam, attorney. Okay, ito na.
Hmm.
Ayun.
Yeah.
Ano bang main display? Okay. Baka sakaling lumabas. Ito. Ito ho, nakalagay. Win cash prizes. Oops. Teka muna. Ayan, win cash prizes every week and many more. Sabado panalo with Sandy Laragan. Saturdays, 12 noon UK. Ayan, sandali. Tingnan natin kung maipapalaki pa natin yan. No? 12 noon UK ho yan. At, ayan, nakikita niyo ba? Oops. Nakikita niyo ba yan? Ayan.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
win cash prizes worth more. Ano yan? May nagtanong bakit daw sa dollars? Kaya naman natin ginawa dollars para neutral. Tsaka international money, di ba? Everything is based sa dollars, kinukumpara, no? So we have marami tayong pera dito. May kroner, may euro, may pound. So to be neutral, let's not use any of the currencies dito sa Europe. Instead, let's just use ano. So yan, win cash prizes, dollars, so yan, $50, pamimigay natin, no? Ayan. It's open to all Pinoys in Europe, attorney. Ayun.
Mm-hmm.
So lahat ng Pinoy, oo,
Watching. Yeah.
so yes, watching can win cash prizes every week, no? And many more. The reason why we're saying many more, we're finalizing yung mga hotels and restaurant stays, hotel and resorts, I should say, hotel and resorts. Ayun, mga 3 days and 2 nights, no? Who knows? Makuha natin yung pinakamahal na hotel resort sa buong mundo. Merong, I don't know if you know it,
Yeah.
magkano yun, di ko alam kung, yung nasa malapit sa Palawan na isang island doon, no? Okay, so ayan ho ang ating happy Thursday na mga ano, no. So kung may mga tanong-tanong ho sila, kayo mga pagbati at lahat, no, Meron pa ba tayong mga pahabol diyan, attorney? Ayan, oh,
Yeah.
friend ko po si, friend, okay, teka muna, hindi ko na malaman kung ano itong mga binabasa natin ito. Okay, all right. So yeah, thank you. So sa Saturday ho yan. In the meantime, pag may mga tanong ho kayo kay attorney at meron kayong, let's say, you can contact her just sa number na yan at 020-3375-0555, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Or you can, oops, ano ba yan? Bakit iba yung itsura ko dyan? Nawala ako.
Bigla
Nawala
akong
ako,
nawala.
attorney. Bigla akong nawala. Oo nga, bigla akong nawala. Ayan, teka muna, bigla akong nawala. Bakit ako naging illegal, ano ako ngayon dito? Illegal Oops. Ayan. Ayan. Ayun. Oops.
Strange.
Ayun na. Hindi pa rin ako lumalabas. Ano ginawa na? May,
No.
may nagmumulto ba, attorney?
Yeah, no, wala ka pa rin nga dyan. Yeah, so, yun nga. So, kung,
Ayun.
yeah, bumalik ka na.
Hmm.
Thank goodness.
Bumalik na.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah,
Naku, grabe
yeah.
naman yan. Ba't naman nawawala ako? Ayan.
Yeah, tsaka sa
Mag-join
Sabado,
magdamay. Ayan.
I'm definitely going to watch. Anyway, with or without the prices nga, manood kayo. Because nandun si Sony, no?
Oo. Hindi, tsaka manood na sila. Attorney sila. Dahil katuan lang. It's just a game. I mean, it's manalo ka o hindi. And you haven't lost anything. It hasn't cost you anything, di ba? And it's so easy. People share kung ano-ano na sinishare sa mga Facebook pages na. So why don't you share this so that other people would know that we're having fun here. We're having this small thing. I'm trying to parang initiate this thing that's, come up with a show, and then I'll try to get some people to give us prizes, no? So we're giving away prizes. We're not, it's no joke kasi mga 3 or 4 prizes yan. So that's magkano din yan, no? 10,000 pesos, ganyan. And then may mga balikbayan boxes pa. Then how much is isang balikbayan box? 60 to 80 pounds. So we have about 3 of them. So 240. So we're talking of mga close to 500 pounds na we give away, no? Every week. So that's 2,000 pounds a month. Yeah, and we can have
Wow.
more, no? So if you will support the program, we can probably convince more people to give us prizes to give away to you, no? Wala ka namang gagawin. And malapit na Christmas, attorney. So ito, instead
Yeah.
of, okay, I'm sure magpapadala kayo ng pera. At the same time, if you want to watch your favorite kapamilya stars, magkakaroon kayo ng virtual chat. Kamukha na ganito, attorney. Yung pwede mo makausap yung favorite mong celebrity, no? At saka meron ka pang Noche Buena. Ito ho, panoorin nyo. Papakita ko lang to, attorney. Ha?
Hmm?
Ito ho. Uh, Magpadala lang kayo ng pera and so on and so forth. Ito,
Mas
panoorin nyo to.
masaya at mas exciting ang Pasko with World Remits TFCX Kapamilya Meetup. Just send money and get a chance to win an exclusive celebrity chat this November. Makipagchikahan, tawanan at kwentuhan with your favorite Kapamilya stars. May surprise guests and prizes pa na siguradong magpapangiti sa'yo. Sa regalong padala, may regalong kasiyahan. Visit the World Remit microsite for more details.
Ayan, walang sound
Face
pala.
mo.
Yes. So,
Okay,
ayan, marami
yan.
ko i-announce sa Sabado. Yan, kamukha niyang kapamilya meetup. You can meet up your favorite stars by way of, through World Remit. Also, attorney, magkakaroon ng mga, hindi ko alam kung 250,000 pesos na worth na businesses bibigay ho sa inyo. Abangan ho yan. I-announce natin sa ating program, no? So,
Wow.
tindahan na negosyo, no? Franchises yan. Bibigyan kayo ng mga tindahan. Siguro mga 10. We're talking of millions in prices. So,
Wow.
manood lang ho kayo dito at babalitaan ko lang ho kayo. No? Kayo ay yung program natin. So, ano ho yan? Yung Sabado panalo. Wag lang ho ninyo akong kukuning ninong ng mga anak niyo dahil malapit ng Pasko. Dahil wala ho ako, hindi ko ho pera yung pamimigay ko. Hindi ho akin yun. No? Baka sabi na siguro, attorney, ba, ang daming pera ni Sunny Laragan. Namimigay, na parang Santa Claus, no? Teka muna, kunin nating ninong yan. Ay, wala ho, di ba, attorney, no? So, pero yun nga, let's make it fun. It's nice na it's something new for us, for me din, no? Remember guys, although was on television, I was doing more of newscasting and news reporting, no? Hindi ako yung talagang mga no? Pero yan, syempre nag-host tayo sa ating night jam doon sa home cable noon. Pero ito, kakaiba kasi
Mm-mm.
para kang ano, you move, nakakagalaw-galaw ako, attorney. Sumasayaw pa. Gusto mo ba ako
No.
mapanood sumayaw? Ha?
Yeah,
Sasayaw
yeah,
ako,
absolutely.
Oo. Baka maghanda ako ng production number. Di ba ganyan yung mga show
You
sa
know,
Pilipinas? Oh, naghahanda siya ng production number. Hmm.
I, I look forward to that, Sonny. I definitely do.
Eh, ikaw ba?
Yun,
Ik-
I watch it.
ikaw ba kumakanta ka, attorney? What's between the two? Saan ka mahusay? Let's just say may pagsayaw o pagkanta?
Neither really. So ako, it's
Wala ka bang favorite
no
song? Wala ka
handa.
bang favorite? Wala ka bang medyo something that you hum all the time or something when you were growing up, na favorite song mo? That you, when you go to karaoke,
Uh,
hindi ka ba pumunta sa mga karaoke? Let's say if you go back home to the Philippines or dito, or have you bought this Magic Sing, di ba? Makakanta-kanta ka dyan sa bahay. Hindi mo ba ginagawa yan?
I no, I tell you, people will pay me not to sing. Sonny, it's as bad as that.
Bakit? You're gonna be ruining their night? Gano ba? Hindi naman, happy Thursday,
Oh no,
attorney. Happy Thursday.
yeah.
Oh, wala ka ba? But
It would
you
not.
of course, ha?
Yeah,
Hindi,
no,
hindi, hindi.
it would not be happy if I sing. Hindi talaga. No, that's
But,
I have I
hmm.
have very few talents, and definitely that is not one of them.
Yung singing. Talaga? Well, may jingle tayo. So, mag-join, mangdamay. Di ba? May singing. Oo. Oo. Oh, pero okay na ba sa yung lyrics? Mag-join, mangdamay. Para ba? Siguro,
Yeah.
play lang natin isa pa bago tayo siguro, attorney. Ito yung
Game show
nakakatuwa
ni
lang.
Sunny Laragan
Hoy,
dito. Tayo ay
ba?
magbat
Ayun.
Yeah,
Teka muna.
yeah.
Ano
Mag-joy
yun?
man damay.
Mag-join, mangdamay.
Mag-joy man
Join,
damay. Mag-joy man damay.
Okay ka lang ba sa lyrics, attorney?
Sabado panalo ang game show ni Sunny Laragan dito. Tayo ay magbarkadahan. At kung si Sweten ka, kami ay nagagalak. Ano pang hinintay? Mag-joy man damay. Mag-joy man damay. Mag-joy man damay.
Ayun.
Mag-joy man damay.
Mag-join, mangdamay, attorney, ha?
Yeah. Halika na, malaki ang tsansa. Imbitado ka at mananalo ka. Kesa magmukmok,
Kesa
buti pang lumahok. Tuloy ang ligaya, may pandemic o wala. Sige na, join ka dito. Sige na, Sabado panalo. Sige na, Sabado panalo. Sabado panalo ang game show ni Sunny Laragan dito. Tayo
Parang-
ay magbarkadahan at kung si
attorney,
It's
parang
like
ano yun,
saying,
alam mo,
gagalak, ano pang
ano, attorney?
yeah. So it's like saying join and pass it on. Yun, di ba? Magdamay.
Yeah, nga, join, and pass it on, call your friends to, parang join, idamay mo sila. Hindi pare. Mga mare, gano'n, manood tayo. Kasi pag sama-sama tayo, di ba, may mga TV shows, sabi nga ano na kaya, magsama-sama tayo, manood or something, no? Pamilya at gano'n, no? Magkakaibigan. So, yan lang ho. It's a small thing lang naman. Meron tayong jingle, yung Sabado Panalo. I don't know if I have to take out my name. Sinama niya Sabado Panalo with Sunny Laragan. Parang gusto kong patanggal na para hindi na isama, para Sabado Panalo lang, no? But anyway, so attorney, ayan, baka meron ka mga mensahe. Naku, ang daming mabuhay ho kayo, no? Ito, mag-join, mangdamay. Ang galing na hinulaan niya, no? Ni Maris Mendez, yung nanalo, yung winner mo, sabi niya, mag-join, mangdamay. Ayun. Tama naman. Okay, well, I guess it's time for us to say goodbye. It's been a very happy Thursday. No, attorney, baka
Yeah.
meron ka bang mensahe, yung shout-outs or anything you'd like to, may mga pahabol na mensahe o pahabol na gusto mo inagdagdag, bigla mo lang naalala ngayon. Go right ahead sa ating pagpapaalam.
Yeah, I mean, one thing is actually, I think it's Philippine Nurses Week this week,
Oh,
So, yeah,
okay.
so shout out, of course, to our hardworking dedicated nurses and actually it's nurses and midwives, I think. No, definitely thank you for for all the hard work and continued dedication. And no, more power to you, mabuhay, no. No, it's must not forget them, not at all. So but yeah, it's a happy, I'm truly, lagi kong sinasabi to, but Thursday, I truly am happy to be
Oo,
here on, it
siyempre.
is,
Oo.
high,
Kami rin.
it's highlight of my week because it's so good nga to be, I truly am, I'm humbled, no, na may mga taong nanonood sa atin and they care enough nga to participate, tapos to ask questions and also give input, no, which makes it much more interesting. So, I mean, again, we can't, with the limited time na nasa atin, we can't always deal with everything in great detail. Pero kung mayroon ngayong mga questions, you want me to maybe elaborate nga, by all means nga, email me. I know because this week has been, and last week has been so incredibly busy. I have a few outstanding emails nga from the show. So my apologies, no? Kung nandiyan pa rin kayo. I will definitely get around to looking at them and answering it, if not tomorrow, over the weekend. Okay, so asikasuhin ko. Because there's someone emailed me about the farmer, and I have not emailed back, but I will definitely do that po. And again, thank you very much for joining us. I'm so humbled, and it's so good of you to spend your time with us. I'm so grateful.
Yeah, this is always think we will have to probably ulit-ulit yan eh. Same principle, same mga pinag-uusapan natin, may twist the next time. Kasi we always have new viewers eh. New people who are joining us, new people who would discover it by word of mouth or by way of probably surfing the internet, came through their news feed. Welcome, welcome. We're so happy, and and even old viewers of mine from way back for the past 10 years, no, andiyan pa rin. And mabuhay, no? Dati hindi lang ako nakikita, radyo lang yon. And it was international. We had so many friends all over Europe, no? Also, kaya ka, yung Pinoy Radio UK, it became tuloy ka kabayan, attorney, no? Dahil na-notice namin, may mga bumabati eh. I don't know if I told you the story of this girl nga, di ba? Yung taga, was it Egypt na tumawag sa akin, long distance? Na tuwan-tuwa siya, no? Hindi ko alam kung sa'yo ko nakwento kay Attorney Dana, no? Na yun nga, yung nakikinig lang sa Pinoy Radio UK and nalulungkot sa Greece, sa Greece, sa Egypt, tumawag long distance, out of her own pocket yung kanyang yung kanyang
Oh,
sariling gastos yun, no? Tumawag lang, and it
oh,
was so, alam mo naiyak tuloy ako, na bagabag, na touch ako ng gusto nun dahil tuwan-tuwa lang siya, parang nalungkot na lang siya, and she was listening to a radio station in the UK,
mhm,
yun nga, yung program ko, no? And she was based in, siya, kasambahay sa Egypt.
mhm.
And then eventually, may anak na, may asawa na, nasa Norway. When I went to Norway, because we have a newspaper there, and I went to the place, yung, ano ba yung lugar na kung saan may oil? Uh, uh, oh, basta yung oil, yung lugar yung may oil. And when I was
Mhm.
going there, because I had this, one of the advertisers is the number one restaurant in the whole of, not only of Norway, but the whole of Scandinavia. They have this white
Wow.
award, they call it, I think, the White Awards. And the winner is a Filipino chef. He's a sushi chef. He's a Michelin
Wow.
starred chef. He was given a, yeah, Michelin, Roger Asakil. Roger
Mhm.
Asakil. Oh, yeah. Yung kanyang very controversial yun because I think he's a Chris Rock, yung comedian, Hollywood star. And they were doing something do sa lugar niya. And thinking that he's a superstar, no, he thought he could just turn up. Eh, ang ano yan, pag book dyan, mga weeks and months in advance pa yan, di ba? You book for with mga celebrity chefs, di ba? And yun, nadyari yun because he was really so pissed, no? And the newspaper talaga carried that story. And it was his restaurant, that guy, si
Ah,
Roger Asakil. Oh, so yun. Well, so I had to go there. He invited me over there to his place, stay there, sleep, and then look at his sushi businesses. Big time eh, sa
oh,
buong, sa buong
oh,
Norway. And on my way there, so sa ano pala, pagbaba ko sa airport, nag-live ako, Facebook Live. Hi, hi, hi. Tapos bigla lang nag-greet sa akin yung taga-Egypt na nasa Egypt siya nung araw, na nakapangasawa sa ano. Hi, Sir Sunny, dito ka. punta ka sa hotel ko, sa Hotel Tron, Hotel Tron yata. So dito ka mag-breakfast, dito ka ganyan. No? So ayan, nagbe-breakfast ako. Tapos lahat, mga Pilipina, mga nandun sa hotel, yung mga tauhan niya, kasi siya head ng ano eh, ng housekeeping. So yun, no?
Oo.
Tapos sarap ng kain ko, breakfast, no?
Oo.
Nakakatuwa. Si ano pangalan nito? Nakalimutan ko.
Oo.
Si Marisol, Marisol Raffol, Mary Rose, Mary, ganun, no? Mabuhay ka na. Iba na apelido niya ngayon,
Oo.
ano na, Norwegian na eh. Oo, kaya kita mo
Oo.
yung immigration, kaya nga sabi ko, ang immigration is like when na-solve mo yung problema ng mga yan, parang nanalo ng lottery, di ba, attorney? I always keep on saying that, no? Because it's true. Dumarating
Yeah.
sila rito to mag ano, yung ma-regularize yung stay nila o maayos yung papel nila, eh parang na silang nanalo ng lottery kasi patago-tago yun, di ba? Very hirap magtrabaho na maayos, di ba? Pero
Yeah.
ayun, I'd like to congratulate our friend, may ano, nakalusot yata ano, basta ganun, sa asylum ang ginamit, you know. Pa pwede pa ba asylum, attorney? O well, saka na natin pag-usapan, mapahaba. Mahirap ba
Yeah.
asylum
Yeah.
o ano?
Yeah. No, ang problema nga sa
Oo.
asylum, especially sa Pinas nga, it's not really an asylum type country, you know.
Mm,
Asylum has always been, and even more so now, difficult to establish, no. But I mean, okay, if you are being persecuted nga, and you know, natatakot kang bumalik sa saan man,
mm,
and you think you're going to
mm,
killed or maimed nga if you go back because of religious belief, for example, or political belief, then yes, something you should consider. But yeah, beware. Asylum is not. Sometimes mga tao sinasabi, oh, mag-asylum ka na nga lang, no? You have to be careful that
mm.
you don't just make
We have to
applications
be
that
careful. Ayan.
but yeah. So it's but no, immigration. Tama ka. So immigration is it's right up there with, you know, you sometimes people say, you know, right up there importance as regards say family at health, because yeah, immigration can mean your liberty, can mean livelihood or no
Mm.
livelihood, hindi lang
Oh,
sa iyo,
future,
also mean,
di ba?
yeah,
Family. Oh, ang kasang-kas mo yung family mo eh.
yeah, no,
Tama
this
yan,
is it,
oo.
you see.
Okay,
So that's why
totoo yan.
I'm so people, you know, take part nga, no, and they share their experience, because it's a very personal thing, no, immigration.
Oo nga, oo. Well, kaya nga mahirap din kasi itawag din. Pwedeng i-message ko kasi pag tawag, baka ma-expose ko sino yung bosses noon at lahat, no? I don't understand that.
Mm.
And that's the reason why somehow we were thinking of doing that. But there might be people who would much rather prefer to be di ba, asking questions quietly and even probably using a pseudonym, no?
Yeah.
Okay lang yan, walang problema. Maski sabihin nyo Miss Butterfly pa kayo o Mr. Macho, okay lang yun, maintindihan natin yon. So,
Mm-mm.
ano ba pronounce niya? Kate Foy, Kate, no? Ayan, sabi niya it's worth sharing. So, thank you, no? Yung ano, paki-share na lang. Punta, sana i-like mo yung ano, yung Sunny Laragan official. Dalawa kasi yung Sunny Laragan ko, isang personal page at saka isang yung nga, yung kung saan yung pwedeng i-like and then pag ni-like mo yon, ayun, tawag dito, yun na yun. Yung page na yun. So thank you, attorney. Ha? Maraming salamat. I also look forward to, seeing you syempre, no? Kayo ni Dana are both breath of fresh air, no? Parang from welcome, change na, nakakatuwa, no? Because we are interacting, engaging with our viewers,
Yeah.
no? This is not a one-sided thing like a movie that you watch and then you just passively watching. Here, you can actively participate because by way of the comments that you give in, no? And by way of
Mm-mm.
sometimes they would give them additional information. Yung mga binabasa ko kanina, it was given to us, no? Yung mga some other forms, kaya dividend income, mga ganun. O yan, nakikita ko
Uh-huh.
lang. Wala naman ako I get educated by whatever attorney is sharing. And also yung ating mga viewers, no? Sinishare. So we look forward to it. It becomes a happy, educational uh, Thursday, no? At
Yeah.
kumbaga, pag ano na, kompleto na. Kumbaga, parang buo na yung araw, yung linggo ninyo pagka natapos nyo itong ating immigration. Para kumbaga sa courses, okay na, kompleto na tayo. Ano? Mayroon tayong legal corner on Tuesday, meron tayong immigration corner on a Thursday. Okay, so thank you very much, attorney. Kami ho'y magpapaalam na, no, sa ngalan nun ni attorney at syempre yung mga nag-share sa inyo. Ito po si Sunny Laragan nagsasabing thank you very much for keeping us company and maraming salamat. You take care, stay safe and healthy, ha? HFS, hands, face, and ano ba yan? Pangalan? Space. Ha? Huwag niyong
Yeah.
kalilimutan yan. Self-isolate. If wala kayong trabaho at you will be affected by self-isolating, there is some help between 500 to 1,000. I just don't know. You can just read out on the guidelines. Pero if you we really need to self-isolate. If you feel unhealthy and you feel not feeling bad,
Yeah.
kailangan have some testing because that will only be, siyempre, ayaw nating lumala at saka makahawa. And protect
Yeah.
ourselves, no? Always cover ho. Huwag tayong magmahalan ho tayo. Ayan, malapit ang Pasko, magmahalan tayo. Okay lang ba mag-play tayo ng Christmas music na siguro next time meron tayong background
Yeah.
music. Okay, thank you very much. We'll see you again. Kasi kami dalawa ni
Ako.
attorney. You take care. God bless. Have a nice weekend. Kayong mga ingat-ingat ho kayo. Take care. God bless.
Happy
And happy Thursday. Bye.